Breaking up with Jesse was so nice. Lexi did it twice. Jesse still doesn't understand how camera works. And Lindsay's free. And Carl's free. And Lexi's free. And Jesse's free. We're all free. Let freedom ring, guys.
It's your freedoms.
Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Dives as deep as the plunging neckline of West's double-breasted blazer.
That's a Watch What Happens Live joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed it.
Oh my God. This is how you know they have no true friends. That nobody saw these two ding-dongs together and were like, don't do that. You are giving Night at the Roxbury so hard. It's actually embarrassing.
They probably think that's cool.
It's not.
I feel like there's a guy in Color Me Bad. Jesse
100%.
reminds me of blazers with no shirts underneath. Not just for the ladies anymore. Apparently. How great was this episode? Like everybody showed up. Everyone came to work.
Totally.
We're doing Summer House, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't like this episode?
I did not like it, but to me, it was what I like to call a setup episode, where they just spend 40 minutes setting up a bunch of shit that's going to happen half-ass next week, and then some ass during the reunion, and then the rest of it next season. Like, that's the episode. It's like, what did you call when you got, Natalie used to work in scripted, like, sitcoms and stuff, when you were like, you guys had to save money to go off-site, so you would do like an episode that was all in the closet, a bottle episode. So it's like a whole sitcom. If you ever see a sitcom that's like, oh, we're stuck in the closet for 22 minutes. Yeah.
Or like they're all going to dinner and someone keeps forgetting something. Oh, the phone's ringing. Oh, let me go grab my lip liner. Where is my, and then all these things happen all in the confines of like four walls.
It's one of my favorite episodes of Friends. It's the one where no one's ready. And they're trying to get out of the house and they can't. And to me also, because I'm a theater nerd, you could do those episodes as a play. So that's also why I love them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize y'all TV folks were just trying to save some money.
Well, just so that you can then go do the episode at the Dodger game or at the location thing. Huh?
I don't like we went to a Dodger game episode or whatever it was.
The producers do.
I know, but that's because they're Dodgers fans and want to like meet the players and do stuff.
No,
like that.
That's exactly it. Joanna Garcia is married to Nick Swisher.
I know.
And so Greg did an episode where just so we could have Nick Swisher come on and made like the entire set like it was a stadium. I don't know how much that cost, but all that fake grass alone.
It reminded me of that. Like, I'll get into Lexi because I'm glad I did not put the deposit down on the Lexi's boot camp location just yet. It was so nice you did it twice. Like, yeah, dude, that's 40 minutes of, we already heard this.
But I just thought that Lexi did everyone a solid by like, no, we loved watching this the first time. So why not see it twice? Like,
it also all tracked for me. I just feel like she was like, okay, let's just give him one last measly pittance of a chance. And I do have to spend this last week with him, and it probably isn't going to work out, but like, I literally have nothing to lose. And then I just think the manicure, not wanting to hang shit just had her. I'm out.
If I never have to hear this guy whine to one girl about whining to another girl about like this apology tour is not.
It's worse than yours.
It's worse than mine. Yeah.
Well, because you mean your apologies.
I do.
This is what's so infuriating with the West. I mean, see, they're like, now they're the same person.
I want to get to where I am with like Kyle with like, I screamed and yelled so hard about Kyle. And also Kyle's been like a benign ever since like the dinner table takedown. He's like just sort of
been like, great this season.
He's been like, a scene, you know, and like kind of just bowed out after that. I want to get there with Jesse and just, you know, how I always say, like, I want to appreciate the villains because when they're gone, like, it's super boring and you just want them to come and do their thing. But he is just so gross to me. And I kind of feel about him how I felt about West at the beginning, where I was just like this ugly, short, weird mustache, weasel face. Like, and now I'm just like, West is like, almost off my shit list entirely. Like I feel like he's done his
penance
season in the corner with a dunce hat on, you know. He's paid his debt to society.
he was in his timeout. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He like sat on the step, thought about what he did.
Yeah.
I don't think he did think about what he did though.
I think after he did the one thing about, oh, I'm going out and I'm not telling anyone, I feel like he got some talking to about that, maybe from a friend or maybe from his manager or like whatever, and was just like, okay, I truly am going to lay low, because I feel like it is so unlike Wes to take an entire season. I have not heard about one girl that he thinks is cute, like flirts with him. Like he's been asexual healing.
Anytime Sierra talks to him, I love that
Yeah.
it's now a running joke of like, dude, hey, Sierra asked if I was going to go drive straight or backwards. And they're
Yeah.
all like, yeah, dude. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Like that shit is so funny.
It is funny.
I can't stand this dude because now it's just, it's not even like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Now it's just, this is just bad business. Stop. It's so annoying. He's sitting there having a conversation with Sierra. I think, and I'm getting annoyed with myself as I'm watching this because I was like, oh, okay. Like this does sound like a thoughtful, okay, you think about what you've done, Jesse Solomon. He has, and he realized like I shouldn't have said it was a joke. I was doing that to get out of hot water with
Yeah.
Lexi. I'm sorry. He was making sense. He was connecting dots.
Yeah.
And I thought he got it. I really did. Like some moron who hasn't been watching this idiot all summer. And then he says the one thing where he's just, when Sierra's like, I want you to be in a good relationship. Like I wouldn't be mad about that. And he's like, well, you seem mad now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's not mad because you're in a relationship. She's mad because you made a joke that insulted her.
Yeah, that was
Idiot.
truly, truly insulting.
Correct.
Like super, just like nobody would want. First of all, you lied, but then you doubled down. Like, but
This
then
is why everybody's mad. Lexi's mad because he lied. Sierra's mad because he lied. Like the dude is lying all over the place. And then when you're like, hey, bro, I don't trust you and you're a liar, he's like, I don't understand why you're trying to gaslight me. Like what? No, dude, you've lied all season. All season, all you're doing is lying. That's your storyline this year.
Yeah.
That's why Sierra's upset. That's why she got upset last week. It's why she should have got upset 6 weeks ago. It's why Lexi's mad. It's why you just got broken up with.
Well, he hasn't gotten broken up with yet, but yes.
Oh, it's why you're about to get broken up with.
again.
Like you lied a lot. I don't know if that means you're a liar, but like you lied a bunch.
Yeah.
So like at what point does lying a bunch go from he lied a bunch to that dude's a liar?
And this is why when I'm watching it, I'm getting angry with myself because even I had this moment where I'm watching him do this apology thinking, oh my gosh, he learned something. See, I did say it. He is going to turn this ship around. And then the next scene is him cuddling in bed with Lexi, telling her some bullshit cockamamie story that isn't what their conversation was about.
You mean lying?
Lying. Yes.
Funny. I think Jesse is so in love with Sierra. Like there's some
I think he is too.
Real like there's some real things going on in there.
Until he gets her.
Maybe.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, maybe. Listen, you're probably right because he's a piece of shit right now. And I'm not on Team Jesse. So like, but then I like last year, beginning of this year, I would have been like, no, he loves her. It's real. Like if that could be a match made in heaven. And then there's a part of me that sometimes wonders like, wait, do you guys love each other? And Wes ruined it. Like, is that what's going on here? You guys were supposed to be together.
Like each other. And I think that Sierra's telling herself like, no. And I think on a certain level, she really does believe it. I think it's one of those I love Josh moments from Clueless where she doesn't realize it until maybe he like makes a move and kisses her. And she's like, wait a minute, that was weird because we're friends and I don't know about that. But also that was a really good kiss. Let's try it again.
I don't know about that. Only because of a comment that I'll read later.
Okay.
The thing that stuck out to me the most about the beach scene was that I can't remember specifics of like the arguments with Lexi, but he seems to argue his point a lot more when he's arguing with Lexi or when she's trying to break up with him or when they're just having their talks or whatever. And he like aside from the stupid things he said off the top, one of them being like, I thought our relationship was deeper than for you to be over me. Like, no, it was. And then you did the stuff. But it really hurts me when you say that I'm a two-faced liar. it's upsetting. It's upsetting when people do that. Yeah,
Should be.
that's an upsetting thing.
You should be upset by being a two-faced liar,
yeah,
Jesse.
yeah, because I'm upset for you two-faced lying to me. Jerk off.
And he's watched all of this
Yeah.
and learned relatively nothing.
Yeah. That's the thing about these shows being filmed, 8-10 months before you're seeing, a year before you're seeing them, and then but also having them watch What Happens Live and having TikTok and all the interviews and whatever, is you can easily tell where they're all at. And for him to act the way that he just did on Watch What Happens Live, like, you're like, nope, still nothing.
Still
Like,
dumb dicking it.
and you've watched the entire season, as we all have, like, because I'm sure you watch yourself. Like, you're just not, I don't see you as that guy. It's like, I don't like to watch myself on camera. It's very awkward, like, no, that guy has watch parties. He probably plays it on a projector on his wall while he's nailing.
Oh no, I was
chicks.
gonna say I was doing something else, but that's
Oh, he was just by himself. That's closer to it.
That's how I watch our shows.
okay. That's weird.
He has like just this kid speak, but like he's this overgrown,
But he's a man.
dummy.
He's a 31-year-old man.
Yeah.
But even
And-
at the end of that apology, he goes right when she's like, yeah, whatever. He goes right back into like little kitty mode. Like,
He
Yeah.
goes right.
give me a hug.
Yeah. Oh, I made a
whoa.
duty.
Yeah.
He
That's
it
so
seemed
gross.
So gross.
Jesse got poopy.
Ew,
I'm
guys,
telling
come
you,
on.
every time I'm saying, Jesse, be a good boy. Like, ugh, gross. Put some sunscreen on those chompers already and shut up. Aside from those stupid things he said at the top, the things that he was saying to her, like, to your point, were very like, they were so straight up and like taking accountability, and I'm going to be a better friend. I'm going to prove it to you. I really respect you. And I'm clearly bad at communicating. I want to do better at that. And then like actually saying why he did the
Yes.
thing. Like that was like,
Huge.
who knew he could ever actually, but even in the way he said it, it was almost like it was painful for him to say. He's like, I just was trying to get out of something. But it made me feel like he knows in that moment, if I don't apologize profusely and do it in all the right ways, she will either throw me in the garbage, and that will be the best case,
Yeah.
or she will terrorize me. She will do a dinner table takedown. She will probably go on a million interviews and say just like what a piece of crap he is and whatever. So I felt like he gave the apology to her so much more respect because he knows like he doesn't want to be in West's position next year. And for whatever else. So that was all good and great. And then I felt like I was annoyed that she accepted it so quickly, but I feel like Sierra also knows that like, well, he apologized. My whole thing about why I haven't had to talk to West all years because he never did.
Yeah.
And also she like, yelled at Emerald a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure that's all good and fine and whatever, but I was just trying to think like what guys are left? Like you would be isolating yourself from the third dude pretty much. And then now you only got Kyle left. So like Sierra can't.
And Carl. Oh, no.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah,
Oh,
Carl.
yeah.
Carl got the
Kyle.
boot too.
Yeah, but if you only are friends with Carl and no one else, that's too much time spent with Carl, and then Carl's gonna be like,
She
"We're in
loves
love."
me.
She loves me.
I knew it was real.
Yeah. And then, of course, as it's ending, it takes him a split second to go back into just flirting with her. Like, that's why I like you so much because you're so spicy. And then her response, which everyone can suck it. Like, everyone is going to tell me like, oh my God, you're blaming Sierra again. No, but like just Sierra always chooses these things that are just like, just tweak it just a little bit. Like you had to say, you can't handle this or I don't think you can handle it, obviously, like with a little grin. And I'm like, it's just enough for me to go, because I just think like you could have just been like, okay, dude, like just
Easy.
another opportunity for her to go.
Or we're
Calm
not there
down.
yet.
Yeah,
like a little
exactly.
too fast.
Exactly.
Too soon.
Yeah.
here, I want to say something about Sierra because I love Sierra. I feel like I've been clear about that all
Yeah.
year, specifically in the beginning with the West of it all. When people are like, she should just get over it. I'm like, no, she shouldn't. She could be as pissed as she wants. This happened 6 months ago. He has never apologized. He embarrassed her in national publications.
Yeah.
I don't think he embarrassed her, but one could take it as this
Yeah,
is
she
embarrassing.
could be embarrassed.
Correct.
Like
Yes.
just on her own. But
Because
like,
I think she's
we're not
amazing
like,
and
embarrassed
smart
for
and
her.
beautiful and has
Yeah.
everything anyone could ever want.
Yeah.
So West couldn't ever embarrass her.
Yeah.
When I get frustrated with Sierra and Jesse, this specific situation, it's just because I think he's been a jerk to her.
Yes.
And I don't believe that he deserves to be in her good graces.
Exactly.
And
None of these people do. Like though,
Yeah.
like
if
we've
I
talked
haven't
about
been
that
clear about that,
forever.
then
Yeah,
like, I don't
we
know
have.
English
We
then.
have
'Cause
been perfectly clear here and on the that none of these idiots deserve Sierra. Like that's the
Oh,
problem.
no, I think Paige. Are you just talking
The
about
men-
the
the
guys?
dudes,
Oh,
the
okay,
dudes,
okay.
yeah.
I was like, no,
Like-
her girls are solid.
None of them. But so that like we're always like that. How does this girl not find somebody out in the real world? How is not like
Or I even mean as a
100 dudes just been like, you please,
Yeah.
please, and you know it doesn't make any sense.
But I just mean even as a friend. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
even enter, not even a boyfriend. Because like I think Carl deserves to be her friend. He seems super sweet. Kyle, he's married, fine, whatever. Jesse Solomon, first of all, his intention is not to be her friend. I will tell you, I will stand by that
Yeah.
until the day I die. Okay, that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, even if he's trying to push down his feelings for her just so he can be in her orbit and be friends with her, it's why I got so annoyed when I saw them at the US Open together because I was like, no, he doesn't deserve to be in your air. He is an F-boy.
Yeah.
He's shown it to all of us. Even when they were on Watch What Happens Live, he's answering the questions and it's so hard for Andy to bite. I don't know. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. It was so hard for Andy to bite his tongue when he's answering these questions. And he's like, but you saw how you acted, right? I'm like leading the witness, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating to me that even now, Sierra has seen all of this and it's like, I just don't want you to hang out with Jesse because I think he sucks and I think you're awesome. And I think even if it's just a friend, you deserve to have better friends because he's not even a good friend. And it's not specific to Sierra. He's not a good friend, period. I don't think he's a good friend to West. I don't think he's a good friend to Sierra. I don't think he's a good friend to the girls. I think he is two-faced and speaks out of both sides
And
of his
he's
mouth.
writing her coattail. Like he's taking photos with her and posting those to be like, I'm with Sierra.
he
Whether
knows
it's to make
everybody
Lexi
loves her.
jealous,
Yeah,
whether it
his-
makes everyone mad.
Yeah.
Didn't he make a comment? Did we see it where he made a comment about like that the hate is good for his algorithm
I don't know. But the
I think
thing
Lexi
is
said that.
about him, right?
the like Paige, Sierra, Amanda, Kyle, Lindsay, Carl, like the OGs, those are real friends. They've been friends for 10 years. They've
Yeah.
hated each other and loved each other. Like that's all real. I think the difference is that these new dudes and the new girls, like they want to be reality stars. They don't want to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
They don't want to be in relationships, sexual or not. They want to be reality stars.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm starting to see in these Jesse and West. We could call them Jest. They're kind of jesters.
Yeah.
Like and even Lexi this week. I was kind of like, she made me think, and I don't know. Well, we can talk about it when we get to the breakup. But like, she made me think of a thing that I used to deal with all the time growing up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you guys annoyed when you saw them at the US Open? Were you
Yes.
Yeah.
Which here's the thing. I know that post was to annoy. So I wasn't annoyed. I didn't even see it. Like when I talk about them, I get actually upset with myself because at this point, I almost think that Sierra's in on the whole thing because she's like,
They all are.
yeah, they really
That's
all
part
are.
of the thing with the Lexi, like jumping ahead. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why did we do this again on camera? Why did
Yeah.
you walk into the house and ask for a place where you could do something where no one could hear you? You know where that place is? Your apartment.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Off camera.
Yeah.
And I get the whole, why didn't I want to snuggie snug? Okay. Dinner would have been a perfect opportunity 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
A phone call if you're kind of a dick a night ago. Like, 1,000 places that you could have had this conversation that you wanted to have with him, but you didn't want any, but you
Question
wanted
though.
everyone to hear it. You're
Yeah.
just playing this game.
Do you think possibly, just floating this as an idea, that she maybe didn't want everyone in the house like eavesdropping on the conversation,
Oh.
but she wanted it on tape so that Jesse couldn't spin it because she knows
No,
that he's
because
a
if-
liar
no.
and he would have manipulated whatever
But at
she
the-
said.
No, because at this point, who cares?
I would
Everyone
care.
knows everyone in the house knows he's a liar.
No, I would have wanted it on tape, just for posterity's sake for
Just
me.
breaking up with him?
Yeah, 100%. Because look what it's turned into.
Well, yeah. But
Yeah.
she'd already done that. So I don't like Lexi is from a generation that has like historicals and AI to refer to now when you go on these shows. Like it's a new day
Yeah.
for these people.
Yeah.
So, and I think having her mom and sister on her team, like that can go bad for child stars, clearly. Like we don't encourage that. But like for someone who's in her 20s and like has already had proper managers and whatever, you don't have to worry that like, you know, your manager mother is going to be like, not telling you about a job because another client wants that job. Like they are 24/7, all Lexi, all the time. Like probably have very specific jobs of like, you're going to watch every season of this. You're going to go back and see what were the highest trending episodes or like what was the deal.
Yeah.
Like Girl Dump Sky, I think is a good story. She glued him back together just to take a baseball bat to him again. And
Which
like,
I'm okay with.
and that's the thing. And that's the thing is that like as much as I'm seeing Lexi a little clearer now, I'm not mad about it. Like I can't be mad about it because we have to accept that that is what these shows are now. We're never going to we're getting a little bit of the stuff with the Valley because they're married and they're going through these divorces. And like I said last week or on the Valley, like that breakdown of year-long life partnerships
Yeah.
really puts you in a super funk and you're acting all sorts of crazy. That gets out of control. But this kind of shit, I like to pretend that Lexi has like a reputation for being a heartbreaker. Bravo got word of it and sent 2 recruiters over because like Southern Charm was so misogynistic that they needed a woman to like flip the script on some fuckboys on their younger show. Like, I just think we have to keep an open mind if you want to. I don't think you want to. I think you like to be like, no, I love it.
I do
It's
love
all
it.
real. It's an industry like any other industry where they've got patterns and trends and that
Definitely.
you can look back at.
Yeah. And this is an opportunity. Like it's like, I think Meteor Wine said something about the ratings for the Valley.
Yeah.
But the premiere rated at 650,000 people watched the Valley. And then it dipped. So I don't imagine Summer House is that much higher. But we talked about this before. She has more followers on Instagram
Yeah.
than watch the show that so the show is just a side piece to help her get more brand deals on Instagram
Yeah.
and get more modeling jobs. Like it used to be the other way around. Now the show is just like, oh, I guess I'll do that show too and see what happens.
Yeah.
My thing with Lexi is when you're really good at something at a young age, you and this is more of a sports reference, but she's clearly a very grown up and very good at taking dudes down to
Yeah.
Chinatown. So like when you're really good at something at a young age, you don't get humbled because you have to play with people your own age, right?
Yeah.
And no one's as good as you. So you smoke everybody.
Yeah.
You never get beat. If you do, it's like, okay, whatever, dude. I wasn't even paying attention. Like
Yeah.
you never get humbled ever. So you grow up with a complex, right? Sometimes that works out and you get to be a pro athlete. Sometimes it goes to your head. And I got the vibe this week that shit's going to her head. That like the producers and the girls and everybody's like, oh my God, you took it. Dude, we've never seen anything like that
Yeah.
on that. Mom's like, you, my girl. And dad comes in and is like, what's up, champ? You smoked that, dude? And she's like, sure did, dad.
Yeah.
He's like, do it again. Like,
Yeah, we got we did a little early. I think this was on the
Oh,
roster
man,
for later, or the
so
schedule
now,
for later.
So all that shit that I was like, oh, she took his glass out, Lexi's boot camp, and we were all cheering for her. Like, now I'm like, oh, it's all fake. It's not even fake. It's just you got too big for your britches. You got big headed, and now you're just gonna come in and do it all again. No, dude, you did it. This weekend should have been us seeing you as a free bird and bonding with the girls and going out to dinner with Sierra, because that's clearly an issue that he's caused, right? So like, if we're talking about this is an opportunity and we're planning our exit strategy and how we're going to look on breaking up with him a second time versus no, we broke up, we're not together, I'm not want to train. You want to do a girls' dinner? Let's go out and have a good time and dance and get to know Sierra. And like, that would have, for me, that would have gone, she would still be on the Lexi's boot camp, as far as I'm concerned. And now I'm like, hold off on the lease. I'm not signing it. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on this.
But you have a nice guy clause, so you
I don't. Not at Lexi's boot camp.
Oh yeah, because he's
there's no nice,
not a nice guy.
And that's the whole point of the boot camp is like, to make nice guys. They don't exist, so we need to make them. So we don't get a clause. You don't get the clause until after you graduate.
Even though it's just a clause for real estate, not actually for nice guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
But if the outcome
It's too
is the
soft.
same and Jesse needed to be taken down twice,
But listen,
isn't the outcome
what does
the
that
same?
mean? He needed to be taken down. He went to the tennis. These two are out going to Coachella now. Like nothing. This is for TV. This is all fake. This was a little fake. This was a little bit of bullshit.
Well, but he
This
doesn't.
was a
But he
Shep and
doesn't know.
Sienna.
Like he might be doing something with Sierra. Like I think that he's like everything that he goes and does with Sierra. I think it's totally to get his socials up, to get people talking, to get.
I also
just
think
like
he likes
to
her.
Bogart. Yeah, no, I do too. But like I said, I don't think that. I think that as soon as that she gives it up, he'll be like Jesse's entire identity actually, and this actually could work. This is going to sound horrible. I know before I even say it. However, we've never seen Sierra break up with someone, right? Everyone that we've seen has kind of broken up with her or chose someone else over her or just been dicking around so hard that she didn't really have a choice to make in that moment.
No, she kind of broke up. She ended things with Luke.
Did she?
Yeah.
But did he want to be her boyfriend?
He was being messy, but none of the, I was going to call him Aaron. What's his name from Southern Charm? The one who thinks Kroll, Austin.
Yeah.
They weren't officially boyfriend, girlfriend. So I think it was just like, we're hooking up. Things are going wonky. Like, let's stop. It was very similar to that.
Yeah. Okay. So, but all of them, they were never her like boyfriend. Like, I feel like West kind of became her boyfriend at some point. Like, they seem to be in an actual.
I don't think she's had an official boyfriend since starting the show, at least publicly.
So then that's exactly what I'm talking about. So I think that Jesse's whole identity is getting a girlfriend and then telling everyone how like he kind of doesn't know if he wants a girlfriend, but he loves being in a relationship. I think that Jesse like fiends that attention, that acceptance. He likes to cuddle up. He likes to, have someone wipe his duties and like all those things.
But he's never really been in a relationship.
Right. But with Sierra, I think he really wanted to be with her, but then he likes to like I said, it's a two thing. He loves to be in a relationship and then tell everyone he's not sure if he wants to be in a relationship because it's like attention. He's an attention whore.
Have his cake and eat it too? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's just starved for attention, like all over the place.
I got Jesse's perfect job.
What?
He needs to be a escort and do the boyfriend experience.
Yes.
That way he can get paid for the thing that he loves the most. And then when the job's time to clock out, he can go home and be like, I don't know about this girl.
He'll fall in love with his client though.
I'm going to go get a manicure.
Yeah,
but then they'll make a
can't help it.
movie.
Here's the thing. He would annoy Sierra. Like if they did get together, he would annoy her all the time. But he would really want to be with her. He would still be doing his old games because like I just don't believe this guy changes. Like everything he does is like rinse, repeat.
Listen,
like it's
that being said though, with it not changing, the only time we've seen Jesse different is with Sierra, apologizing to Sierra, talking to Sierra. The only time Jesse's been like kind of genuine-ish is with her.
Right.
So maybe he loves her so much that is the girl that he would change
that
for.
He could become a better version of himself
Okay,
for her.
okay, but you guys, listen though. Just imagine.
Listen, I'm not buying it, but like
right now, totally. She's very we were just saying this about her last week. Like she busts balls. She will be like she'll give someone a attitude. Like it does. Like she doesn't have any issue with doing that. But he'll have that to go in the other room and talk. God, Sierra's mad again, or she's upset, or like, oh, she seems depressed, or like, because Sierra is kind of an emotional. I don't want to call her emotional roller coaster, but she wears emotions on her sleeve. She has moments where she just is like not feeling it, and especially if he's like doing stupid shit. But we've never seen her be with someone that was like, no, like he might be doing all this dumb shit, but he really wants to be with her. Like Jesse, I think, would still every day be like, no, I'm so sorry, Sierra. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. He'll continue doing his things, but like he's not going to leave her. And she might not leave him. So it might actually be a really great match for all the wrong reasons, Sierra. Like all the wrong reasons. But like she's just never had unconditional love and commitment from a dude. From what we've seen on the screen, I don't know what her relationships are outside of the house, but all the guys that she's been with, if she does part ways with them, they were never really her boyfriend, and or they are the ones that dipped. So I think that they could actually stay together for a long time. You shouldn't. But they could.
But you don't think Jesse will ever change no matter what?
No, I mean, he's, like we go through the whole thing about the stunted growth and how he might just be like a 31-year-old and a 13-year-old dumb brain. So that could change as anybody evolves in life. But for right now, and while he's on this show, like I want to get in Jesse's head right now, and not in a way that it's a lie, but like I still would find great pleasure in him thinking about this because it's true. I would not trust any girl who goes on these shows after like going forward that they're there for you. Like they will be there because of how much commotion you start and how much social media attention it gets, how much Watch What Happened Lives it gets, how much just like people like this show here. We are 38 minutes in. We're still talking about stupid Jesse Solomon.
Oh, and we're going to be talking about
we're going to talk. Yeah, he's the whole episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can to not put him on a thumbnail, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but the last two, I just put his head is little and he's like kind of peeking around the corner because I refuse to put those big ass chompers front and center. They're going to blind people. I'm not doing that to you guys.
So sweet of you.
I do what I can. So yeah, I think that anybody who dates Jesse now has seen him for what he is. So if they're dating him, it's just to basically do what he said that he wanted to do to like get famous because of how Wes treated Sierra, all those things. It's all the wrong reasons. You're losing at your own game forever.
I just wanted to say from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I realized what happened with Amanda's bikini line, like how she did it and launched it so quickly. She did a cross collaboration with an already established swimwear company or like just apparel company that has swimwear. And I applaud that idea.
Yeah.
I thought that was so smart. She could have easily tried to go out on her own, but clearly she has a social media presence and I'm sure was able to reach out to companies, or maybe companies have reached out to her because she planted the seed.
Yeah.
Last
someone
season.
reached out to her. That's what she said.
Oh, she said someone from that company reached out to her. Totally missed that. Watched it twice, missed it. But I just think I love that idea. I feel like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I just thought it was a smart thing that sometimes I think entrepreneurs think, no, I got to do it my own self. It's my idea. I don't want them to, have this pattern of this bikini forever and then I can never sell it.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was great. And I also thought Kyle seemed really like supportive and proud of her. And I was excited for the two of them. I feel like they are in a good place, even though the editing made us in the beginning when you just saw the super tease. Made us think, oh my God, are they having a bad summer? Are they not on the same page?
Yeah.
And I think both of them, you said last week, I think Amanda was on some podcast and she said this was Kyle and I's best summer.
Yeah, she said it at that fan fest. It was back in December when she said it, but like that was still after the entire season filmed.
And I think it was.
Yeah, I think
they
so
were great.
too.
And I
think that he finally just listened to her. I think he had his one big moment. And just because she's still tonight when we go back, you hear her going, Kyle, this isn't your fight. Kyle, stay out of it. Kyle, sit down. Like, so he clearly still has those tendencies.
But he's been married long enough that when she does or like the little whisper, he's like, all right, because I've done this enough times and I'm an idiot when I do it.
But they're also like, before it was, dude, you said no, and standing up and tumbling. And now it's like, I might have misunderstood. So don't, but I thought that you said,
it's not verbatim.
That, like, it's so,
yeah.
I think Kyle's trying to show, even when he went, and we're jumping ahead, but like when he went and checked on Lexi, like everybody was in with dumbass.
Yeah.
And she was alone on the couch, and he went and like gave her a hug. Was like, "You're all
I
right.
loved
Want
that
to talk
scene.
about it?" Super sweet. I think Kyle's trying to be like, there's him and Amanda. Amanda's like, "Kyle, why are we watching this season? We've never watched any of the seasons like in real life." And he's like, "Just this one. This is a good episode.
Check me out.
Check me and see how I took care of her. Like, I'd be a good dad. I'd be a real good dad, don't you think?" I think Kyle's trying to get her to realize he would be a good dad this season. That's his like sneaky plan.
I mean, listen, that's what Craig did when he realized that Paige, he said, she doesn't want to have kids with me because she doesn't think I will be a good father because of my drinking. So I think that that's how these guys start to get it, is when you're like, oh shit, no, that is really serious.
Yeah, that
Like,
thing that you want, you're never gonna get it if you keep acting this way.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything
I
else?
hope you didn't think I thought that you wouldn't be a good mom, and that's why.
No, I knew it was all about you. Never fear. No, here's what was going through my mind when you told me that. And this is like, I remember it clear as day, but I was literally thinking, you're a child. I've been taking care of a child this whole time. And now you're telling me I can't even have a real one? I just have to take care of an overgrown one?
I just have to deal with this big baby forever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, wow, I've been raising a child this whole time and now I can't even get a real one. Thanks for nothing.
You don't need to put that part in, but
Yeah.
back to the show.
Okay, wait, where are we now though?
Well,
Because
does anyone have anything? That was my only note on the swim.
the swim thing. Oh, here's just something I picked up on between Jesse and West. What?
No, I have a thing about them too.
And also, when I was cutting and pasting comments tonight, I realized somebody else, I think it was Harris. It was either Harris or Meteor that said, like, I kind of feel like Jesse is super jealous of West. And I get I think that Jesse, like, I think Jesse's jealous of anyone who gets anything that is cool or has some fame or has, whatever it is. But when he was telling Wes to shave his face, Wes, I don't even like you, but I want you to know that Jesse is not here for the right reasons for you. Like, do not take wardrobe or facial hair styling advice from Jesse, because Wes should not shave his face. He will
he
look
shouldn't.
like a little weirdo. Like he
He would look like a little baby dumpling face, but for all the wrong reasons.
yeah, but like a grown man, but
The
he's like
lollipop
short
kids,
and then like
the lollipop kids. What is that from The Wizard of Oz?
yeah. And you know what? I think West knows that. Because I think I replied to, I think it was Harris, that I was like, even as much as I don't like Wes, I still think Wes is way cooler than Jesse. And sometimes I just don't think that like Wes would ever, he wouldn't mess with him like outside of this show. Like they've got the bromance angle. So I think he respects that angle and like wants to partake in it on the show. But can you see Wes hanging out with Icky Solomon like in the city? Like,
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not until this moment they were having this conversation. Like, I've been on why do I keep wanting to call him Jest? I've been on the Jesse and West like bromance wagon train forever until a couple weeks ago, and now I'm out on Jesse, still in on West. But like, I was like, I don't believe that any of these people are real friends. Like, this is just this was the beginning of me watching this episode, being like, I'm not buying these new people, and it's taking me out of this entire show.
Yeah.
Which, if you watched our show for any length of time, you'll know fantasy fulfillment. That is my thing with Summer House. It is a fantasy fulfillment for me. I think it'd be great to spend a week with your friends in a summer house. Call me crazy.
The whole summer.
Whatever. Like, just like partying in the house with your friends, eating, talking, telling stories, talking shit. Like, nothing better in my opinion.
yeah.
So when I get taken out of that, like, this isn't real. Like, you guys aren't real friends. Like, if you guys were that close, if you're so close that like when you get broken up with, that moment seemed genuine when he looked to West and was like, hey, can we just go to our room? I need to chill. And they went to talk, and West was like, yeah, lay down. I'm gonna get the bags. Da, da, da. The conversation they had at the bikini thing, that was really sweet. And like, that's like a conversation two really good friends would have. Tuesday, and probably again Wednesday, and maybe at lunchtime on Thursday, and maybe you miss Friday and you're real sad about it, so Saturday you're going to catch up. But like, you've already had that conversation
About the facial hair?
about about Lexi and dinner and like the conversation
Oh, yeah.
like that the whole thing was just a weird. It was just weird. It was
Yeah.
too
Well,
weird.
hold on. What? Just playing devil's advocate. What's his name? Jesse didn't think it was weird that he didn't go to dinner.
It's weird that Jesse and West pretend to be such good friends. I think Meteor One also, or somebody said that
Said
was
they thought it
Harris,
was
I
for
think.
it was Harris.
cameras. Yeah.
That they're not as good, or he's seen on TikTok that
Yeah,
they might
that
not
they
be
might not
as
be as
good
good
as
as
friends
friends.
as
Yeah.
they make believe. So like that was kind of in my head too, not in a bad way, but like it just, I was watching that scene and being like, you guys aren't friends. You would have had this conversation last week. Like
Yeah.
you would have called West after your dinner, after that. Like
Yeah.
if you were that good of friends that you're trying to make me believe you are now with this conversation and with the hugging and the like buddying back at the house and the like, come on, lay down. I'm going to get our bags. Give me 2 arms. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh man, it's not even real. Like it's not.
Do you just feel like
real?
all the newbies are just out for themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
That's a bummer.
I'm
not disagreeing wholeheartedly. I think I was still in the love bubble of just like when they did get to, well, whatever, we're talking about it, so I guess I can bring it up. When they got to the room and Jesse was like, I'm really upset, man. And Wes says, listen, you lay down. I'm gonna get the bags. When they're in the car on the way up and they do the pinky promise and they kiss the hands, I was like, oh, this is cute. Like I like
Yeah.
seeing guys being emotionally open with each
Yeah.
other. So maybe I'm just blinded by that to realize that, because I read that comment also and I almost screen grabbed it because I was like, I don't not believe it. How about that? I'm not fully
Yeah.
100% in on it, but I don't not believe it.
So then on Watch What Happens Live, though, like I was like, once he said that, I had never seen those TikToks, but like I had already been thinking, like, I don't think that these guys are just like compatible people in like outside of cameras rolling.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think that their lives, when I see some of West's TikToks and I just see his friends and like his crew that he hangs out with consistently, I feel like they'd be like, who's this dork?
Who brought the dentist?
Yeah, who brought the dentist? Yeah. And so I was like, oh, that's great. I'm so glad, because I don't want them to actually be real friends. I know you do, and I know you do, but I just like don't want it. Because I don't know. I just wanted Jesse to really get checked. I think that Jesse has to get checked on every front if he's ever going to have a shot at changing.
I want him to get checked also. I just also believe, I just am a fool for love.
I know.
Well, yeah,
Romance, all of it.
Yeah.
I want more dudes to be friends like that.
And I think that Wes, oh no, maybe it's Jesse. Ugh. I think Jesse was the one that was saying that he brought in a buddy that like might be coming on to the show next year. I wish it was one of Wes's friends, because then I think they would pick on Jesse. So I was like happy to think like, oh, these guys aren't really friends. And then on Watch What Happens Live, we find out that Jesse just went to dinner with West. Like West's mom was in town and he went out to dinner with them. And I was like, oh, that's not something you do with just like some guy you don't hang out with. And I was like, unless you're West. West doesn't care who meets his family. Like West is like, does not take these things seriously.
Yeah, totally. Which is odd that he went so hard on Lexi for doing something similar.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Just in a little bit of West defense. I don't know if he was going hard on Lexi for them all hanging out. He was going hard on that when he was like, no, I went to dinner with her sister and her mom to like talk things out. That was the thing that Paige and West were like, wait, what? Like you did a whole counseling session with your girlfriend and her mom and her sister. Like
it was her business manager.
It was her team. Like,
She wears multiple hats.
That's many people do that. If you have a team, like you have to meet with the whole team.
Wait,
like
who are you just saying that someone showed up with their team and then
Jesse. She was saying that about Jesse Lally.
Jesse Lally, yeah.
Okay, I don't know where we're at.
Oh, I do.
No,
I do.
Okay, but getting into the there's also the car ride.
Well, that's where we are.
Okay,
so do you guys have anything to say about the car ride? It's the boys' car with Jesse and
Jesse and West were doing like, oh, we're gonna do a boys trip, and they did the thing, and West was like, hold on, can you even do a boys trip? And Jesse was like, No.
But that is where I think that Jesse, I think he loves doing that. That's a whole part of his
Yeah.
identity that
Yeah.
I was talking about. Like,
Yeah, I think it was serious. I thought it was
Yeah.
funny, but also
yeah. People are gonna be like, "Wow, you're holding so much rage for Jesse." Like,
so am I.
and
So
I am.
light him up. Go for it.
But if
Yeah,
I
I
were
think
Lindsay,
it's
I would just
totally
rebrand
fine.
harboring as reflection. You know, like that. God, I love Lindsay.
I can't believe it
love
happened.
Lindsay. I don't care who knows.
And I'm gay
I'm gay
for
for
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
I swear to you, I would have sworn on my life, on my beloved grandmother's grave, like
Yeah.
I would never,
Never.
not with your dick. I love her so much this season.
JS says, I can't stand Lindsay, pregnant or otherwise. What a biatch. All of these people are too grown. With you on so much of this. This is also coming from the person who our first episode, I named it, Shut Up, Lindsay. No one cares. And
I did. I cared.
Right. And now here I am. So my question for you is just, has nothing this season done anything for you? Like it, because it is a night and day Lindsay. So if nothing changed, then there's something more about Lindsay that you hate that I'm just not seeing. But like all the things I hated about Lindsay, they don't exist anymore. The things that things I hated about her that still do exist,
I like them now.
are now very exciting.
Totally. The freedom
Yeah.
dinner. We'll get there.
Yeah. So I can't help but wonder because, Lexi talks about Lindsay embracing her from the get, them being like really good friends. And I feel also like Lindsay is in the, in the mothering stage, but also like still showing up to work. Lindsay's like figured out how to perfectly time, like every 3 weeks I need to have a dinner table takedown or a whatever it is, like she's just got, you remember those Franklin Covey planners?
What's a Franklin?
In like a leather satchel that just the one that's been around the longest and like it.
Got it. Okay.
When I worked at Nordstrom, they gave them to us and we had to go to a weekend class on how to use them. Like they were very like here's your planner.
Pro Franklin.
Make sure to call your clients however, whatever. And they would come and check.
God,
and
Nordstrom really knew
we
how
went
to
have
do
a meeting
it.
and bring your planner. I know Nordstrom is a cult.
But a good one.
I learned more about how to do any job at Nordstrom than
That's
I
what
did
I mean. Like all this,
anywhere.
anytime you talk to me about your time at Nordstrom, I think to
They're
myself,
raising people.
We should. That could be the show. Let's put a bunch of dumb dudes at Nordstrom's boot
It's
camp.
true. No, it's for people that like, you don't have to go to college. They will make you more valuable than a college degree.
All of these skills
they
are
will
life
teach you
skills
everything.
that you learn. Control your controllables.
Control your controllables and show a sense of urgency. That's all anyone cares about. Show that and walk your bag around the cash wrap. Do not hand it over.
No, we're not savages.
Walk
we're not
it
animals.
around. Come on. And give them a coffee card.
What's a coffee card?
Nordstrom has all the cafes. They always have it at Nordstrom Cafe, so they have like their coffee bars.
That's
so
really
like if you're one of the managers, you have in your Franklin and your little Zippy, you get a stack of coffee cards. You can give them out to your clients.
Jack them up on caffeine. They're gonna be meandering back through the store, and they're like,
yeah,
I didn't see that cute little bolero.
Yeah, they're having a nice time.
Anyway,
but I just feel like Lindsay still is using a Franklin Covey fucking planner, like just with the way she does things. Anyhow, about that car drive, what I was curious about is if she talks to Lexi runs things by her and think, oh, what are you planning? What do you got this weekend? What are you going to do? Well, I've got this and that. Okay, well, I've got the dinner table takedown. I can call. You're breaking up with someone. I would love to break up with Carl again. Can I break up with Carl? No, that's I don't think I could even Lindsay. I don't think I could get away with that.
Reminisce.
But I could remind him, that we're not together anymore.
Or reminisce over our breakup. So it
Yeah.
ties in. We're still on theme.
Yeah. And then when she says
Let him
later
know
on,
it was the best breakup of my entire life.
yeah, I'll pop this in here. It'll go. It's in theme with what you're doing. I know that you don't like the devil breakup, but I thought that was a gift to America. And Lexi's not even American.
But it wasn't even as good as the first one.
It was
pretty good. I
Pretty
think
lame. It
just
wasn't
so we
even
can get to the
close
actual
the
breakup,
best.
because we keep talking around it.
Yeah.
I think when she said in the car, I'm just so tired of like training him or
Yeah.
raising him. I shouldn't say raising, but obviously that's what we keep saying. She nailed it. It's exhausting. Nobody wants to do this, and that's what I meant, bless you, when I said last week, like, you need a partner, not a project.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying for someone to come 100%, like, I'm ready to build a
Yeah.
husband is done. No, it's just like, I'm on the level that you're on, Lexi. And so obviously that's what she's feeling. Whether she's doing it for the camera or not, that's what she has been feeling. So if she's breaking up with him a second time for ratings, like, thanks, we were entertained.
Yeah.
So they get to the house. They know that the girls know that this is going to happen. The boys are outside. Jesse's in La La Land being like, things are a little off, I think. And every other guy's like, yeah, it's so weird between you guys. What's going on? He's like, I don't know. I was going to ask her to be my girlfriend this weekend. And then Lexi comes out
Yeah.
to say, can we talk?
Yeah.
This is the breakup talk that I think we might want to just
Yeah.
dismantle a little bit, because I think if I'm giving any notes to her, she didn't need to let it go on as long as she did, just because he's an idiot. And like, she's now talking about things that she doesn't need to talk about. She could have just said, like, look, we're on such different pages. You're not ready for the relationship that I want to be in. It's not good, bad, or anywhere in between. It's just you're not selling what I'm buying. And that's it. Go on with your bad self. I'm done. But obviously, I know she wanted to like give him time so we could talk and say whatever. And every time he opened his mouth, I just wanted to punch him in the nut.
I know he
Like,
has such a punchable face.
He's just so annoying when he's like, I don't appreciate you calling me a liar. Yes. Did I lie by omission? Yes. Well, then you lied. Like, I could be angry and not an angry person.
Yeah.
Okay. I could be hot right now, but not someone who's hot all the time.
Yeah.
So she's not saying that you are categorically some sociopathic liar. She's just saying, like, my experience with you in this relationship is that you lie, and I'm not down for that. I don't like you telling me one thing and then going and telling somebody else something else. That's how I feel. That's how this situation makes me feel, and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't getting one iota of it.
But that was like the whole thing could have started and ended, whether he got it or not. Not up for him to get. Like, it's over, bro. With the nail thing, just her explaining what her natural reaction to him saying, I'm going to get a pedicure was. Jesse's probably a dude that gets pedicures. He's probably that guy.
Yeah.
So, like, he probably was going to get a pedicure,
What was
right?
a manicure? I
Or
wish
whatever,
it was
sorry.
a pedicure,
Sorry.
because that would just play into the whole foot
Oh,
thing.
totally. Yes.
that is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, a manicure. Like, he does seem somebody who treats himself. So like, he was probably doing that. But her point of like, yeah, you probably were. But the fact that the first thing that popped into my head was, that's bullshit. That's why. And that's it. That's all she had to, if she was going to do it again, like, that's all she had to say. Because that's everything. That's it in a nutshell. We've talked about this with multiple people in the comments. Like, once that trust is gone, yeah, that's a wrap. Like, it's done. You're gonna have a hard time. You're not saying you can't get back from it. That's a lot of work, and nobody's doing that work after 5 weeks. If you've lost the trust in 5 freaking weeks, tap out, move on, go find somebody else. Like,
Trust isn't even really there in 5 weeks. So if you've decimated whatever tiny
yeah, it's still building. Like,
shred
she's
of
looking for it,
Right.
and you didn't give it to her.
But like, when you first meet someone, right? You're assuming that, oh, hi, my name is, Courtney. What's your name? Oh, my name's Natalie. I'm assuming that what you're telling me is the truth, right? Like, oh, I met a new girlfriend. She seems really great. Her name's Natalie. She grew up in NorCal, but also kind of in Oklahoma. And if I 2 weeks later find out that your name is actually Christine and you're from Baltimore,
Yeah.
Maryland,
Like-
like, this is really not getting us
Yeah.
started off on the right foot. And I
Yeah.
just feel like Jessie was completely missing that.
Yeah.
That's why I started by saying, if I'm giving her any critique, it didn't need to go on that long. Just be like,
Yeah.
you're not selling what I'm buying. Like, we're looking to be into, even though you want to be in a relationship, which I don't completely believe that you do by your actions, and I want to be in a relationship, we want to be in different relationships. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all well and good.
Well,
But we can't be in those relationships together, because I want to speak Mandarin and you want to speak Greek. Never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
Jesse wants to speak Pig Latin.
Everything both of you have said is I'm on board with all of it for anyone else but Lexi, because I don't think that this getting back together thing was ever real. I think that it was completely planned. So I think that she literally looked for a thing to break up with him about over again, because I just feel like it was so clear that she was out on him before, and I really believe that she only got back together with him or entertained him, that they were on the track to getting back together, so that she could be a part of these last 2 episodes. Like, they know when the finale is because it's the last
Yeah.
weekend that they're scheduled to come, and she was going to go out with a bang. She was going to make sure to bogart and I say that that sounds like a horrible word, but like, I respect what she did. I think it's business savvy. I think that she had a plan. This is their jobs. So keep that in mind when I use words like bogart and plan and connive. And I think that when you're saying like, oh, she could have wrapped it up sooner. Yeah, if it was a real breakup, but it wasn't. Like, the whole point of it was to put it on display, say all the things, and to make sure that it was very believable, just to make sure that all the audience got it. Like, it's no one's looking at me I'm still looking at you sideways, but it's with a smile. With Jesse's look on his face the whole time was literal deer in headlights.
Yeah, he was
Like,
shocked.
he did not understand what was happening. And he here's the thing. I was just watching him, and like he looked so dumb to me because I could see like these wires like trying to, like, he knows like something feels off, but like he can't figure out like, why does this feel forged? But like, I don't know why. And he just immediately goes to all the wrong things because he's that dumb. He's like, she's saying I'm lying. She says that a lie by an omission is still a lie. Can you believe that?
He said, wait, I thought I was doing a good job at following all the rules you set out.
Yes.
And I was screaming at the TV, like, you are a child, Jesse. And
relationships
adults
are rules.
Right. Two adults,
Yeah.
not a man, child, and adult,
Yeah.
two adults in a relationship come together and say, this is how we act as adults.
Yeah.
And yes, we're not always going to get along and we need to have conversations, but it's not like, oh, mommy told me I can't be out past 11.
Yeah.
So I better come. No, it's not how it works. And if that's how you think it does, you need to get into therapy. You need to get in therapy for many reasons.
Yeah.
But it's the same reason why he's so immature, thinking that he's being gaslit.
Yes.
You don't even know what gaslit means.
He doesn't even know what it means. He like heard it on the internet.
If you think that she gaslit you, then you don't know what gaslit means.
She's actually just saying out loud what you did. Like, that's what that is. You're just hearing facts being told back to you and you don't like to hear it. What's weird about it and what you're feeling, Jesse, is like, why is this happening? We've already talked about all this stuff and you wanted to get back together with me. This seems like I'm having deja vu, or it's Groundhog's Day, or whatever. And that's what it was. And that's what was so obvious about it to me, because I don't believe that she just like, oh, you know what? I thought he was lying about the manicure. So, well, that's going to be it. I just don't, I don't buy that. I think that he was right to know he was confused and it was the right feeling, but he missed the entire point of it, didn't understand what was actually happening. And that's why I just don't care that this is kind of a fraudulent thing that she's doing, because I just think somebody has to give Jessie Solomon's duty but a smacking. And like, if it's going to be her, like, I've worked for people that I'm like, oh my God, they have they use their platform so well. But then you work for them, you know them behind the scenes, they are a shitty person.
Yeah.
But I don't care because I know what they're doing. I know what their public platform is, and I think that they're a good influence on the masses.
Yeah.
They're putting the right message out, all those things. Like, I'm sure many people work for politicians and feel this way. Like,
yeah.
It like, so I understand all of that. That's a little sliver of like how I feel about Lexi, is that this guy needs to be smacked around, and he still doesn't get it. And he's still acting an idiot. If you saw him on Watch What Happens Live, which we'll have to watch that tonight because it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it's horribly good.
No, it's horrible because
Yeah.
he proves every point
Yes.
in real time,
Yes.
live and uncensored.
And with Andy's got such like a facial expressions about everything. You know how he always just kind of like that, like, so
Andy
you get to
almost-
see like what we're thinking in our heads. Andy's doing it, going, huh?
He almost leapt out of his seat. There was at one point where he like is sitting on the edge of his seat being like, bro, we saw it.
Yeah.
Like, you know how cameras work?
Yeah.
The jig is up.
Yeah.
You can't be playing both sides of the
Yeah.
fence anymore. We know.
And the camera shows Wes too going.
Even
Like, it's
Wes
just like
was
all the things that
embarrassed.
you
There's
would
so
want.
many shots of Wes this season, especially towards
Yeah.
the last half of it.
Yeah.
Once this all blew up, you could see Wes being like, I'm gonna be there for you, bro.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you're putting me
Totally.
in a weird spot.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I agree that I agree with all the things you're saying, but just to throw out another idea about Jesse and his confused look on his face, because he was apparently so adamant about like, oh, how famous West got after
Yeah.
doing what he did to Sierra, and that if we are going to go down the road of like, no, he was going to try to do that this year, is like dibs on the hot girl, roller coaster romance, and then I'm gonna leave her at the end, and I'm gonna like try to get the same. And then when the end came, she was like, "I don't want to be with you anymore," and he was like, "What? No, 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 no. I had a plan.
I actually don't think
I was
she's
gonna
like,
do that."
So did I.
Yeah, me too, motherfucker.
And I'm just
you're
a better
dumb.
game
Yeah,
player.
you're too dumb.
Yeah.
Once they told me who the guy on this season was supposed to do it, I was like, excuse me,
Yeah.
I'm available this season.
Yeah, I can
I will
handle
take care of
that.
your little misogyny problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By flipping the script on this dude and doing what this guy was planning on doing to any girl that would have had him.
Yeah, dude. So
But
sick.
I don't think he was planning on breaking up with her when the season, like that's the difference between him and West. I don't think the season would have ended. He would have dumped her.
He could have cheated on her, but he still would have been the guy in his DMs and going with Sierra and making people talk. Like he was still going to be like, here's the thing. As much as West sucks, West actually just was pretty straight up at the time that he decided like this is a no-go. Like he just kind of said, and he was kind of honest about it, which was about, no, I didn't know. I didn't realize I was going to be in this position. I don't think Jesse would have ever been honest about that. Jesse would have just gone about things, maneuver like he's been doing all year, going into every girl's room. Hey, how y'all doing? Just like.
But West he only said that stuff at the reunion. He never said that to Sierra IRL.
But
which
like
is
even
gross.
so, to say it at the reunion, I can't even imagine. Like that's still like I'm glad he said that because it lets you wrap that up and know like, okay, that was the thing.
But that's the problem. Because he said that stuff at the reunion and Sierra's like, I just would have appreciated if you said that stuff to my face, right? And so then they squash it after the reunion and then he goes and does the New York Times article. Right. Sorry, I just can never let anyone forget what
totally. All I'm saying is that Wes saying the words out loud, like, I didn't realize I was going to be this famous and so many girls were going to want to go to Pound Town with me.
Right.
And like, it is my duty as a kid that has a weird face to get all the ass I can possibly get because you do not look a gift horse in the mouth. Like that's how I think that Wes kind of basically, in a nutshell, what it translated to, what he said. I don't think Jesse would ever have the balls to like be that guy, whereas Wes was like, sorry, have you seen this? Like, wouldn't you take the opportunity? Jesse is too much because he like wants to be the nice guy, wants to be a pleaser. Like, I just don't think he would have ever had the balls to say like, I had no idea I was going to be this famous.
do. The way he apologized to Sierra, I think if he was pinned with his back to the wall at a reunion, I think he would say like, yeah, I messed up. I'm a dumb guy and all these girls are hitting on me. I do think he'd say it. I think they're both idiots. I don't think it's giving them, it's like saying like, oh, you shit on the floor, but you put a sign saying there's poop here. You just shit on the floor and didn't put the sign up. Like, you're both assholes. Stop shitting on the floor.
Yeah, I
think
still
they're
don't think
both
he would
schmucks.
ever say like he knew from the get that Wes should have apologized to Sierra. He was saying it at the reunion. He was
Totally.
like, he could have done this a little differently, So I think that he always knew that Sierra needs an apology and that's how you get out of stuff. He doesn't seem to mind like being like, my bad, like whereas Wes like never really has said my bad.
Remember with Lexi though, she's like, we've talked for hours. He apologized. I think that that's part of Jesse's game. I think he's good at being like, I'm sorry, I won't do it. I'm going to follow your rules, all that stuff. And then he messes up again.
But if he were to admit all that stuff and say that that's what he was doing, he wouldn't be able to like maybe get with Lexi or maybe be with Sierra. Like you would have to give that up. West was ready to be like, Sierra is going to hate me possibly from now till the end of time. And I am still going to go forward. I don't think that Jesse could handle that like kind of, like, aren't you the one that said that Jesse was like a people pleaser and like needed
Which is why I
be...
think he would say whatever he had to say to like give the people what they want.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents on it. I know after they have this conversation, like there's a moment with Lexi and the girls in the kitchen where I think she explains what went down pretty accurately.
When Sierra arrives and walks in, and the first thing Amanda says to her is, Lexi's breaking up with Jesse right now. The smile that came across Sierra's face, not because she likes him, but
No.
just because like that's funny to her. Like you could just see like it just be like walking in somewhere and finding out something like that about
Yes.
someone that you're just like, this guy's such a dildo. You
No
know?
one
And,
deserves
like,
it more.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the smile that came across her face. Like I haven't seen Sierra experience like a ton of joy this season.
That was true mirth.
It really was. It was a nice moment. I'm glad that we all got to witness like Sierra like.
And see, this is what annoys me so much
I
about
know.
Jesse. The girls could have had a great night.
I know.
But Jesse would have been left out because he would have been sad that he got broken up with and they would have all been bonding. And
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with him. And so he had to piss all over it.
Yeah.
What? How did he piss all over it?
By having everyone, by announcing that they broke up because he was nice to Sierra.
I mean, listen, he's the one that was in a group of people and
Yeah.
said, "Can we go to my room with his friend?" Right?
Yeah.
And then he just wanted to talk to his friend. He needed to chill.
Yeah.
And everybody piled in on
I don't have a problem with that.
on him.
He could have said, listen,
But like you're saying, oh, they could have had such a nice night if Jesse didn't.
if Jesse didn't
Jesse
say-
probably would have just stayed in his room all night by himself had they not all piled
I
in
don't-
because the producer was like, "Hey, everyone, go upstairs and get the fucking dig."
I don't have a problem that they went in the bedroom. I have a problem with what he said when they were in the bedroom. It's nice. Be supportive of your friend. But he should have just said, she broke up with me because she feels like I'm never telling her the truth and she just wants to be in a relationship where she feels like she has this deep trust and we don't have that.
Yeah. And like he could even say like, I feel like she's making way bigger deals out of things, but like that's me. Like he could easily just say so many things. But I also understand that you think that I understand what you're saying, that like he just tried to go to his room by himself and then like everybody came in. So that he wasn't like going out of his way to do that. It was just situations.
There's a chance he would have said nothing.
Yeah.
All night long.
Or he would have just told Wes.
Or he would, he would have just told Wes.
There's no chance he
wouldn't-
would have said nothing because Jesse's a talker. If he's proved anything, every
There's a
time something
chance he
happens on
wouldn't
the
have
show, he
said-
goes into another room and talks about it.
To who?
From the
The same
beginning of
person.
the episode.
But the same guy.
No, remember when he went in to talk to Sierra in the beginning of the episode, beginning of the season about Lexi? He's like, she did this thing. Is that weird? And then he talked about it with Paige and Amanda when they were in the car and Paige was like, oh, there's pink flags. This is what Jesse does.
Yeah, no, and he addresses that too, because he just says like, oh, you talk to your friends about stuff. Like, am I not supposed to? Like, to your level of the level that you're doing it? No, because
Also,
it's
if you were
I'm
telling
just
the
asking,
truth,
so if
sure.
no one came up to his room, you think Jesse would have left that room and gone downstairs with everyone having a good time and been like, hey, she broke up with me because I lied. Hey, Paige, she broke up with me. Hey, Kyle and Amanda, she broke up with me
No, I
because I lied.
think at some point he would have found a way to start a conversation with someone like on the couch or making dinner, being like,
he does do that.
she
He'll bop
said
around.
that, no, like, listen, I get it. You don't want to be with me anymore, but she doesn't want to be with me.
Yeah,
because
I
she's
get that. I
pissed
get
that
what he
on
would have
this.
done. I'm just, yeah. hang on.
No, I'm saying I don't
I
think he
know.
would have sat at the
I
dinner
didn't-
table.
Yeah.
Last weekend he did say something outside about, or it was. And something, maybe it wasn't last weekend. He says to Wes, like, I guess I should have only been talking to you this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I think he knows he gets in trouble when a lot of people are involved. And that's why I think that
What was
guy
the
on that
first time?
TikTok that I saw was like, you saw his inner monologue going, don't do it, don't do it. But then he's like, and then Sierra, she said she doesn't like it when I have a nice time with Sierra. Like he can't help
can't help
it.
himself.
So I think he was trying to remove himself from all those people because he like knows.
He's like the
Yeah.
SNL
Well, they know
character.
it too. They all know it. The producers know it. So they're like,
Go upstairs.
this guy's going to stay in his room all
Yeah.
night. Fuck that. Get him up there.
Yeah.
Like
and
there's
Kyle,
a Coe
make sure to
piece
go
on
down
set.
afterwards.
Yeah, totally.
And
Check on, hey Kyle, go
Yeah.
check on Lexi. She's on the couch by herself.
yeah.
They're not even telling Kyle, go say that. They're like, hey
Kyle
Kyle,
just knows.
Lexi's down by
Yeah.
herself. Go check on her. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey man.
Totally. No.
I don't think it was mean or anything. I did feel like it was a little too obvious. It's like the entire older part of the cast is like in this one room clearly talking about what just happened. But to me, that's also where it got really interesting because everything he said, in my opinion, was stuff that Lexi said to him clearly off camera that was just between them. He brought it up because he needs a reason.
Yeah.
Because he can't just say, she broke up with me because she thinks I'm a liar.
Yeah.
No, she broke up with me because she was upset that I made up with Sierra so quickly. And she couldn't imagine how I could do that because Sierra's been so horrible to her and to West all season.
Dude, died. Like I had a bunch of moments this week where I just laughed out loud.
Me too.
This was one of them when he was saying that she's mean to West and Lexi, and Sierra goes, "Have I been mean to Lexi?"
Yes, it was so good. And West
And
doesn't
West
even
is
budge
like,
either. West
yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
touche,
yeah. Like he
touche.
doesn't even, it doesn't even like,
So awesome.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
She
Like,
just
it's-
like totally
she's-
agreed. She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this mother. But I haven't
I
done
love
shit to
that.
her. Like that was so funny.
I know.
See,
I
and
totally
I took it
laughed out
differently.
loud, too.
I took it like she was siding with Jesse there.
No, she was. I think
She
she
was
was
just-
being funny, being a little bit serious.
No, I don't think that
Yeah.
she was being funny though. I think she just like, because she didn't crack at all. Neither of them did. It was just
I
so
don't
like,
know. I think she was trying to be serious, but also throw a little like
Yeah.
jab,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
being
yeah, for
funny.
sure.
I thought it was funny. It seemed like she was being funny. But when he was like, "Oh, she said you're being mean to West. You've been mean to West and her all season long," and her response was, "How have I been mean to Lexi?" Like it wasn't, "How have I been mean to West and Lexi?"
yeah.
She didn't include West in her defense.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
was,
Because
like,
West
so-
is air. He
Exactly,
doesn't
'cause, like, yeah,
exist.
fuck off, dude. You get
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
you're gonna get shit on by
Which,
Sierra.
oh yes, that I
all
love. I
season.
wasn't even picking up on that because I was just
Right.
so keyed into the fact that it's like maybe she said that to you on Tuesday when you guys were still together and having a conversation that you just chilled with her all day at the US Open and posted about it. And that is just weird to Lexi, and she's allowed to feel that way.
Yeah.
And I also think and we were talking earlier, we think, no, Sierra, don't hang out with him, not because of any of this stuff, just because he doesn't deserve you,
Yeah.
right? And what are you talking about? She didn't mention Sierra once when you guys were breaking up. She did not. She just said, you talk out of both sides of your mouth. We want different things in relationships. You're not ready for the kind of relationship that I want. And that's it.
yeah.
You beat, bro. So
Yeah.
back it up and let me go live my last weekend in this house. He never, it was so obnoxious of him to put that spin on it because she never once brought up Sierra's name.
But
She
that's
didn't.
not true. So, and this has to go, I guarantee, to editing. I think when him and West were in there, he was probably telling him what happened on the balcony or the little patio. And then I think by the time Paige and everyone else, the story had been going on for so long, she did bring up Sierra when they had dinner that earlier in the week, right?
No, when she was breaking up with him on the balcony, what we saw, or on that deck, she
Yeah.
did not bring up Sierra.
He didn't say she did. He was I don't think he said she did, because that's
Which
what
he did.
No,
He didn't specifically, he insinuated.
He didn't say when we were
insinuated-
sitting
Yeah.
in these
but
two
listen,
chairs in
I
the
don't-
Hamptons.
all I'm saying is he might have, but he also might not have, just because of the edit. At that point in the story, he could have already told and then we go to dinner, and it was the day after I go to
Yeah.
the thing with Sierra, and she sits down and is like, "Oh, I don't think," and it's a.
To give
I don't-
him that benefit of the doubt, though, he couldn't
But
have
there's
been
no
this
benefit of the
person.
doubt.
It is because he's been
It
talking out of
doesn't,
both
because afterwards Kyle up the whole thing,
No, because
and
he's-
everyone defends, and they're like, actually, that's not what he said. He didn't say anything on the balcony. He was talking about earlier in the week at dinner, at the dinner table. They clear it all.
I
up.
heard it completely
I
differently.
know. I don't.
But there's not
listen,
anything to
listen,
hear
I
different.
know that they came to his defense.
He
like
blamed.
Paige
He
did.
definitely blamed.
Sierra.
He blamed the breakup on that. He did not say that, "Oh man, she took me out to the balcony and said Sierra's the problem and that's why we're breaking up." That's not, I don't
He
think
blamed
that's
the
what
breakup on Sierra by saying she was upset that I made up with her so quickly, and she's been
not
so
made up, that we were having fun. He said that she got mad that Sierra and I
We had a
were
nice
back to having
time.
fun, or had a nice time.
How are you going to get over that fast when she has been so rude to West and me? That was one of the things that Jesse said in the room.
Yeah.
he's saying that that is why they broke up, or one of the main pillars
Right.
to this breakup.
But he's saying that what like the editing of not the balcony, the editing of the bedroom, where like since people were just kind of filtering in and whatever, and he was already telling the story, that he could have actually said,
I know
at
what he's
dinner
saying.
this week. But here's the thing: when all the people were coming to his defense, they didn't say. He never said that about Sierra. They just said he was speaking lovely about
Correct.
you.
That's all
He
Paige
wasn't
said.
trying to.
But they did say out on the balcony, did Sierra's name come up? And Jesse was like, it did not on the balcony. And I think
Lexi asked him
somebody
that.
else said
Lexi asked him,
something
and that happened at the dinner table. Like
at the dinner table.
right,
But
so-
but what we're talking about is him saying she took me out on the balcony and broke up with me because of Sierra. And that's not what she said. That's not what he said, right?
He's very heavily insinuated it.
Okay.
I mean, because like I understand what you're
We're
saying,
saying
that
the
like
same thing.
that
We're
we
all
could have
saying the
missed a
same thing.
line. They could have just literally
Yeah.
sliced out one part of a sentence and made this entire thing.
But this is what the reason I can't give him any benefit of the
I don't
doubt.
either.
No one's giving
I
him the
understand
benefit of the
what
doubt.
he's talking about
Yeah,
because
it's just a
you could just
miscommunication.
see like what obviously that how easy it is to change the entire course of that whole thing by slicing off on Tuesday at
It's
dinner on
literally what
Tuesday.
Kyle took out of context.
But this is why I started it by saying he took stuff that she said to him off camera I would imagine she would think like this is between us.
Yeah, because Lexi knows how cameras work.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's another point for smarty britches.
And he's using this to defend, like, she broke up with me for some ridiculous reason.
Yeah.
And so I don't care how he said it. I'm just saying that him stirring the pot with
Yeah.
this stuff is what caused this fight that didn't need to be a
Yeah.
fight. Take it on the chin, bro. You got dumped. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And by the way, you deserve to get dumped.
Yeah, and this whole thing that everyone is going to be like, wait, what did you say? But you didn't say that. But I know I didn't say that. Boy, you implied that. All of those things, like you have lost nobody trusts you anymore. Like you lost it all. So you know what I was thinking about? He's probably going, this is such crap. This is working so well for Craig, and it's not working for me.
Yeah, because Craig's a good guy.
So yeah, he lost any shot that we could go, oh, I think that was an edit. Oh, I think Kyle f***ed that up. Whatever Jesse gets now is what he gets.
Because to
And-
me, when Kyle was checking in with her on the couch, he didn't screw it up. He said, like, he brought up the Sierra stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not what if let's just say you and I are dating, Natalie, right? And you cheat on me or do something like that, okay? And then
Harris, take note. You can just press your record button right now. Here's another analogy for you.
Yeah, really.
and you cheat on me. And then a month later, I decide to break up with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want you to know, I'm breaking up with you right now because I don't think we're well suited for each other. I didn't say that. Like, I'm not saying it's because you cheated on me. Yes, of course, that's in the soup of all of it, but that's not the reason we're breaking up. It's clear that, like, we just want different things.
Yeah.
So let's just go our separate ways. But Jesse's ego can't take the fact
No, yeah,
that someone's breaking up with him.
No.
And so now he's got to make it because it's like, well, because I made up with Sierra. And Sierra's the best.
No.
Don't we all love Sierra? Stop bringing Sierra. Leave Sierra to live her pretty princess life
Yeah.
away from you. And Sierra, stay away from him. He's the plague of dudes.
I know.
After he says that, he grins.
Did you notice when Lexi grinned?
As my next grin.
Yeah, that-
Lexi fucking grins
When
after the
she's
whole
breaking up with him,
thing. She's
"So I
like,
think that we're not going to be.
so you don't, does this mean you don't want to date anymore? And like, listen, that could have been her just being like, yeah,
Yeah.
idiot.
Totally,
like not
totally.
trying
That's
so
like-
hard not to laugh in his dumb
He's like,
face.
I'm not going to try to convince you. She's like, you never do.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
gonna.
yeah,
Well,
she
I'm
was
not
just
gonna
so-
fight.
No,
Fight to convince
know,
you. Yeah,
totally.
you never do.
So the
I just think she was over fighting for it.
the last part of that thing that I just want to say about in the bedroom is when he is telling this story, it's just like, again, Jesse, this is how this whole thing started, is because this is what you do. You've been doing it, like you've learned nothing. So great. I guess it doesn't really matter that you're doing it again because she already broke up with you, and Sierra doesn't really seem to hold you to much accountability that like lasts for any longer than like a one shoot. So
Sarah's like one of those parents with Jesse that is like, I am going to take, if you don't get over here, I
Yeah,
am taking
yeah.
your iPad away in 3, 2, 2.5.
Yes, exactly. Hi, Mom.
Like they're just, that iPad would be taken away and I would have to watch my dad run over it with his car.
No, my mom didn't want me to be a total asshole all weekend, which I would have been. So she was like, oh God, just take the iPad and shut up. Okay, so but the other thing that Jesse does this, he can't help himself. He just does the same thing over and over again. He wants to push focus off of like what he did wrong
Yep.
here onto someone else, but in a way that's still going to garner him a lot of attention because he loves to, like everybody now is like, wait, what? Wait, hold on, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm taking questions now.
Yes.
Like it's just so sad. This guy, it's just he's such an open book. Like
yes.
attention whore, wants to be loved, can't accept any responsibility for it, and
Is so
just made a
immature.
duty.
Okay, so let's just be nice for a second.
Wait, can
And
I have a beer before we're nice? 'Cause
Oh,
that'll
yeah,
make things-
I need to get a beer too.
Okay,
If we're
I'm
being
gonna-
nice,
What kind
especially
of
if it's
beer?
with Jesse.
I'm gonna do artisanal.
I wish we called him a different name this whole time so that it wouldn't pick up in any like Google searches. Like we're not helping his algorithm, so to speak, that he was talking about.
Okay, he's not that bad.
He sucks.
Does
Well,
anybody remember what she was
I
talking
said
about?
he wants to shift the blame of something, but he wants to keep the focus on him.
Yeah. So like if we're gonna be nice to Jesse and if we think Jesse has like stunted growth and emotional issues because of whatever upbringing, being a nerd, having cancer, whatever, right? Like there's something going on. We can acknowledge that. Probably
speak,
there's a
Greg.
reason for that trauma, right? And so like would it not make sense that in a room full of his friends, if that's his jam, he would, when confronted with two options, oh, she broke up with me because I'm a liar, or she broke up with me because I just want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Like that would be a natural reaction for him. What's crazier is that nobody in that room, even the girls who 2 weeks ago were like calling him out for his bullshit, right? Nobody was like, well, are
Because
you
they
sure
don't have any
that's-
history with Lexi, and they have history with Jesse. So I think
But
they're
what history do you need to be like, bro, you especially the girls, like the girls can be like, Paige and Sierra have no problem calling people out, and rightfully so. But like they, at that point, they could have been like, well, you kind of, and Amanda was there. Like Amanda knew Amanda knew everything. Amanda knew that Amanda is the one that figured out that Jesse was saying two different stories, right? So like, why didn't Amanda say anything? Why didn't anybody be like, that's why she broke up with you?
well,
Kyle's a seasoned veteran. He's showing up for work. I mean, this is like at one thing this season, and it turned out
Paige,
to
what's it gonna be?
always rate really well. So I'm thinking it could be that. I feel
And
like
then he gets to the end and he's
Wardrobe comes in with Paige's outfits for the fight.
yeah.
We got this one. We got this little pink number. Pretty cute.
Paige said she'll do the fight with you, but that you have to stay in the lobster bib.
Right. And she's wearing couture.
Fine, because you want to have your fight with Paige DeSorbo. If
Yeah,
that's who you're
gotcha.
doing it with. Like that's the thumbnail, you know. But so I loved it when Kyle goes down there, talks to Lexi, and is like, oh, so but how much of this had to do with Sierra? Because I think that Kyle knows. He's sitting up there in the room. Amanda's the one, like you said, to figure this whole thing out from the beginning. Like I think that actually Jesse's been lying about this whole thing. He says to her the thing that upstairs in the room, when Jesse's telling him the story, he's the first one to perk up and go, what else is there? Like, is there anything more to it? Because that's his thing. He leaves out things. So he's saying that with an agenda. He gets the story, then goes immediately down to Lexi. Oh, hugs her, like real nice guy. So what all did this have to do with Sierra? Knowing full well Lexi's going to be like, what? What do you mean about Sierra? And then when they get to the table, they're just sitting there. Lexi's just sitting there kind of looking around or whatever. And Kyle goes, whoa, it feels like you're about to attack. Like Lexi did not look like she was about to attack.
I mean,
I'm sure she was thinking about like, how's this going to go? I'm going to say
in
something.
all
or
fairness, she's a
but-
very calm person, so that could have been Lexi furious.
No, totally.
I'm kidding.
No, totally though. But that's true. She's just more undercover. But Kyle's so obvious
Yeah.
about everything, and it's something that I hate about him when I hate him.
But we don't now.
Not today. Not today. Tomorrow.
you love Kyle. You've always loved Kyle.
You're gonna leave a mark for Kyle.
The other thing with Kyle is when he does sit down with Lexi and he goes, I wrote it down because it was so fucking perfect. I'm not one to weigh in and offer up opinions.
I know, I literally was like, "Do you have amnesia, Kyle?
Yeah.
Have I been watching the same show?"
He's telling that to the new girl. Like she might not. She's only seen me do the one dinner table takedown.
I can
Was
start
she
fresh
even
with
here
her.
that weekend. Yeah, I can start fresh with her. I can say whatever I want at Grandma Grandpa's. When Kyle says that when he acts so like the ick, what? Sweetie. Like, if you've been in any of the comment sections across the country for however long, I'm sure Kyle, especially, has seen himself in reference next to
the word the ick.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I think because I think he thought it meant something else, and I don't know if it was a joke, but when
He acted like he didn't know anything.
I
about
really
it.
don't think he knew.
no, because when Sierra
No
was like, you
way.
know how when you started DJing and we were like, we got the ick, and he's like, yeah, that's why I don't understand what the reference was.
Because it could
I
have been
think,
bad.
yeah, I think he thought like,
He probably
oh,
been like, sick.
like cool,
Yeah.
like that's red, right?
Yes,
like
exactly.
that's so
Yeah,
icky.
Sick ick.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really cute when he was answering those things.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. But I
but
don't
like
believe that he
Kyle,
didn't know
so.
what ick was. Like everybody knows. Like that's not new.
The
There's no way
ick,
Amanda has
Nick.
never exactly. There's no way that Amanda has never said that in front of him.
Sure, I'll believe that. I do believe that out of that list of those
Yeah.
3 that he said, they said that he only knew zombieing.
Yeah, totally. Because
The-
I've already forgotten what you told me they all mean. So
Well, that's not surprising.
That's the old version of zombieing. When you can't remember
Forgetting.
anything.
No, it's not. For the Freedom Dinner, I was actually bummed when Paige said,
me too.
I'm going to stick up for Jesse for a second because he was actually just saying nice things or whatever. In the beginning, he was, when it was just the 3 of them in the room. So I don't know if she got cut off. I don't know. It was the editing, like you're saying, with certain things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
But-
think Paige said he was saying nice things. She just
No,
said
she said,
it,
I'm gonna
it sounded like everybody was saying that he was being degrading and like being a dick about her. And I think Paige was just noticed that and clearing up like he wasn't say shitting on you is all
right.
she
She was saying how heartbroken he was and whatever, but he was shitting on her.
Yeah, I mean, he
mean,
was
yeah.
basically
absolutely
saying that she
was.
was going after one girl and basically blaming it all on her.
Sierra.
Because I'm bummed that you had this like nice day with her or whatever. That's why it does seem weird the way that, because I don't remember her like when Lexi went after him, basically just saying like,
stop
at the
saying
table?
things that are untrue.
stop saying things that are untrue. But so why did Paige say what what
don't know. I
happened to
can't
make
figure it
Paige
out.
feel like she needed to intervene right then? Because like
So
I
like
don't,
that's what I was saying. Like again, editing, they're not gonna show the whole, like my take on that was Paige got the vibe that it was starting to go down the road or had already gone down the road of the conversation in the bedroom, because again, everybody was in the bedroom. Lexi knew that. She was the one sitting by herself on the couch. My take on that was, and this is going to sound weird because the next thing I'm going to say is totally counterintuitive to this, but my take on Paige's thing was she was getting the vibe that it was like Kyle had maybe misspoke and said this thing, and that really wasn't exactly true. He wasn't really being a dick. He didn't say that thing about Sierra on the balcony. Like, I think that was just part of her clearing up some messy, muddy situation.
probably also history with Kyle doing weird stuff like that
Right.
and all the kind of like back and forth that
Totally.
they've had, and just like, oh,
And,
Kyle's
and Jesse.
wait, Kyle was involved. I feel like somebody did say that's Kyle.
It was
Kyle
Sierra.
got that.
It was Sierra
Oh,
who
she
said something
said-
like, "Oh, you heard this from Kyle? Okay, we need to unpack
Oh,
this
yeah,
or something."
yeah,
like,
okay.
so like even she clocked him. Like, hold
Yeah.
on, this guy. But like, so I feel like that was more Paige things. That being said, like Lexi explained to everyone before she broke up with
Yeah.
him. She explained it after she broke up with him. He explained it to the dudes. Like, there was no
need for
there
this.
was no, there was really, there was no need for no one to say anything, like at the table and be like, Jesse, that's not why you guys broke up.
Yeah.
Like, no one defended her ever. Like, that was weird. It was just weird. Everybody knew what happened.
The episode end with her like mid argument with Sierra.
It's not an
So-
argument though. That's just some bullshit.
or not argument. I'm just saying, like, I think we're still in the scene is my point. So like
We are
maybe someone
still
might say something.
You're
I don't
right,
know.
totally. And that was when I started. I was like, this is a whole big setup for next week, which is exactly what it was. And it ended on
Yeah.
her on a bullshit teaser that everyone's like, yeah, no, she's already got problems with it. She said that shit. No, she doesn't. What she's saying is this, I don't mean to point at you, but like, this
Thank you for clarifying.
motherfucker made me think that I couldn't trust you. Like,
But I loved seeing that. I loved when she was like, did I mention Sierra's name once outside? And he's like, and why this didn't have every girl at the table up in arms. And by the way,
that's what
every
I'm
dude up
saying.
at the
Like,
table.
everyone knew. How come nobody was like,
Right, which
what
is
the
why I was
is going
bummed that
on here?
Paige said what she said, even if she was trying to clarify, because it doesn't need
I'll tell you
clarification.
why.
Jesse's wrong, period.
Yeah.
Jesse did a hit and run. It doesn't matter if he didn't mean to do a hit and run. He still did a hit and run.
I'ma
So
tell
just
you.
say, I saw it. He hit you. Like it was, and he drove away, and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I just thought when he put his head down, like, no, you didn't. It's like, grow up. Say it with your whole chest, buddy, because you were saying it that way when you were in the room when she wasn't in there. And you're bringing Sierra back into something that she doesn't need to be brought into. You guys squashed it at the beginning of this episode and like enough. And so I do like that Lexi very clearly in her sweet Canadian way, because she doesn't, like I was joking a few episodes back, like she doesn't communicate like our East Coast broads.
No, Canada is sending us their best.
Yes, they really are. Although I do love how an East Coast broad communicates because I am one. But I do like how she said, just took up for herself and was like, no, this is not how it's going to go down. I'm going to explain to everyone right now in clear English because Jesse somehow it goes in one big ol' ear, gets all wonky, and then comes out as this gobbledygook nonsense.
I'm so glad that you're partaking in the
making fun of his
large physical attributes.
No, I don't even like to do that. Let's edit that out. I feel like that's real lowbrow
come on.
comedy.
No, because he is, and I also think I think he has a lot of hair in his nose. I think the older he gets, the more hair in his nose he's going to have.
Well, that's
and
just
his
a truth
ears.
for all guys.
Well, no, you got a big nose, you got big ears, you got big teeth. Like
No,
things are going to
noses
start
and
happening.
ears get bigger as you get older.
I know.
Your ears get bigger.
And your nose. They're
And your
the
nose.
only two things that don't stop growing.
So you
Mike
might
and I
wanna-
are on the same
You
algorithm.
might want to
of
cut
something.
that out because you just put it into the universe.
Well, it's not
I'm
going to
gonna
happen to
be
me. I live
50
in Los
years
Angeles, and we're going to
I'm going to
all
get a
of that.
season 2 nose job.
Yeah, you're going to get season 2 teeth.
I need season 2 teeth.
See, everybody's getting a season 2 something.
Listen, Linda's, I'm going to explain to you why all that happened and why nobody said anything about it.
Hold on, wait, but I just interrupted her. I feel like you were saying, and
No,
I
you
just
did that.
decided
No,
to
it's
stop
okay.
you because
A
of the
gem.
ears.
Oh, no, that's okay. Go ahead,
Okay,
Mike.
sorry.
No,
sorry,
I don't care.
everyone. Sorry, everyone.
The reason no one did is because this shit is all bullshit. It's all fake. Going back to the breakup, when Lexi's like, I've given you so many chances and I would never do that. I've never done that with anyone else. Yeah, exactly. Because you're not that kind of girl. So why are you doing it with the dum-dum? Oh, right.
Not
'cause
even cute.
Kyle from the art department is over here, and the producer Craig and Bob and Sandy, the camera operators, and Julie and the audio guys here. That's why. That's why you're giving this dude so many chances, because of TV show, because of marketing, because of brand deals, because this is bullshit.
Because
These
you're taking
kids
over.
are bullshit. Because it's their job. It's just a job. And like, again, we've talked about this many times. We talked about it all season on Southern Charm. These people get paid a lot of money to fool us. That's your job. And you're really good at it. And you
Yeah.
can fool us almost every time. Sometimes you slip up. Sometimes you take a sick day. And sometimes you get an episode where you're like, this is bullshit. Like, just break the wall. Show us all the camera. Like, this is fucking fake. You guys, this is a setup. This is bullshit. We always joke, oh, it's on the call sheet. Why did that happen? Well, it's on the call sheet.
Yeah.
This was an on the call sheet episode to me.
I'm curious to see her at the reunion just to see what she has to say about all of this. Cause I don't know. I've just been listening and I'm again, self-admittedly, I'm the most gullible one. I just feel like
I don't think it's
And
just
again-
gullible. I think you just love this stuff so much that like you want to.
no, I just believe literally if someone has told me something, like unless I have thought, oh, I know you or whatever, like you're a liar, I believe to my detriment.
And let me
Okay.
clarify. I don't think this show's scripted. I'm not saying that like they're all having production meetings and being like, okay, so at 2:30 we're back from lunch, and then you guys are gonna do the breakup scene. Great, we'll get that in like 5 shot. I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
I think it's just, again, like we've talked about many times, realities shows are not old, or they're not new. Like these people are savvy. They are now business people. They're
Yeah.
using this as leverage to further their careers, right?
Yeah.
Fine. I'm not shitting on that at all. But just be good at it. Fool me.
I don't
Or
disagree with that.
find another job.
I think what I always like this is why I'm the gullible one. Hi, Nat.
What
Hey,
are you
Mom.
doing?
No, I'm not here. I'm the camera guy. Don't break the fourth wall.
Bravo. I feel like when I hear these people in their interviews, and I just want to believe that like people are telling me the truth, whether they are or not, I will listen to her say, because they did ask her on Nick Vile, like, why would you do that? And she was just like, listen, she's like, I admit, did I forgive him one too many times? Absolutely. Did I also know that like there was
So out of
one week?
character for
Right.
her.
I'm just saying this is where I get in the
Right.
land of like, oh, I guess what she's saying is true or
Yeah.
whatever. But I hear you.
Well, I got a bridge to sell you a court.
Oh, good. Do you have some magic beans that you can throw in with that?
Yeah, free.
One thing that we passed over that I'm just realizing we're in the last scene, aren't we?
Yes, and I have something that I realized we passed over also, but it ties into the last scene. So I just thought we could do it together, like one family.
Hands across America.
Yeah, this is
I
our.
was in Hands Across America.
You were?
Every time someone says that, Mike will,
Listen.
like you just look to Mike and he'll go, I was in Hands
I
Across
was.
America.
Me, my mom, my dad, and Morgan, my brother. He was like, I don't even think he was a year old. Like he was in like a little thing, I think. Yeah, dude, it was amazing. It's one of my prouder moments in life.
That's
If
so
there's
cool,
people
Mark.
who are like not 107 years old, Hands Across America was is a Michael Jackson thing, but that's okay. It was feeding
Children.
I think, something like that. But like it literally from Santa Monica, California to like New Jersey or New York, something like that. They organized, no joke, people holding hands literally all the way
America.
across America. And like, who knows if it happened, but
I think it
I
did.
think it did too.
See, Natalie, I say I think it did because I believe.
Yeah. They said it did.
I
I don't know how you do that, but it was literally, that would have been in 1984 or 85.
Oh, Nat wasn't even a twinkle in her parent's eye then.
No, you were.
85, 84, 85.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I was
weren't
born in
born
Just,
till
1980.
just getting ready to
I
go
mean,
to
1990,
kindergarten.
1999.
1994. Yeah,
Nine.
exactly.
Partied.
Oh,
then.
wait. Whoops. Yeah.
I was really setting you up. Okay, I just want to tie together. There was this little moment with Lindsay and Carl in the kitchen in the beginning when Lindsay does her
Oh,
post.
yeah, we skipped that entire thing.
But
Okay.
it ties into what I want to say about them at the end with the freedom dinner. So Carl's soft bar van falls up.
Oh, we got a location for the soft bar.
We do?
Yeah, the van.
Oh, okay.
We were right.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just think the world's worst idea was paired with the world's worst tagline, which is "Here we are."
Oh, yeah.
That's what it said on the front of the van.
Yeah.
Or like, "We are here," or "Here we are." Like, what do you do? What are you selling? What is the point? It's just so bad. And so then anyway, when they walk in the house, everyone's talking about like Lindsay started with a monologue and ended with a monologue, like when she was doing her birth announcement. And obviously this bothered Carl. And instead of Carl, I have news for you. You can go to therapy and still say like, this is a bag of bullshit and it's annoying to me. But no. What Carl decided to say was a word salad. When you put something of that depth of, this is an exact quote. When you put something of that depth of detail, it's screaming something else inside of you, very deep and dark in your body, that is having a hard time with the reality of what is actually happening. Everyone's face looked like Mike's.
Meaningful.
Literally, Amanda was like, I think Imrul even got a solo shot on that one because Carl, that makes no sense. Just say, I think she's full of shit. I don't think this is how she actually feels. But that gobbledygook was nothing. And then at the end of the episode, when they're talking about, when Lindsay is like, this is the 1-year anniversary of the worst day of my life. And I can't believe Lindsay slept on this. And Carl's like, I don't know why you need to talk about it publicly. I would have turned around and said, well, you had no problem breaking up with me publicly, so I'm just highlighting your actions, and I'm good with that. And if you're not, you can leave because we're on a TV show, bro.
Yeah, I did an Instagram post. You brought a camera crew to our home. Yeah,
No,
like
also,
but like just for take a moment just for that, like because no one said anything about that in that moment, and it was very weird that you were fixated on an Instagram post which you didn't read, but you saw, but you didn't get, but
Wes
you
was
had it
so
sent
dumb.
to you. Are you? Oh no, that's what
Wes did the same thing though that
Right.
Carl did.
But like I actually understood what Wes did, even though later on he said something like that was a little much. I'm like, says the guy with the New York Times on speed dial.
Also, you brought it up. You literally hugged her and was like, I
Yeah.
saw your post. Well, I didn't see it, but I read it.
Did you love when Kyle goes, you can't do that, bro. You can't bring something up and have nothing to say about it, or like
no,
something like
he's
that. Like,
you can't come in hot, or you can't come in straight away like that, or something like that.
like something like, and then Wes is like, "What? She just sent it. She just posted it. I thought that was the whole point. Was that like we would all just be getting it as she walked in or whatever? It doesn't matter, Wes. You are only here because Lindsay basically birthed you on the show, and I feel like Wes forgets that sometimes.
Lindsay
Do one of
brought in
these.
West?
Yeah,
Do one of these.
Forgot.
West met Lindsay at a bar. They talked for however long. They talked about a podcast idea that Lindsay had, and Wes said that he worked at Complex or wherever the fuck he was working at the time. Maybe Bleachers or Beachers or I don't know, whatever. And he said that night that he met Lindsay and she told him about her podcast idea, she made him write on a napkin, "This podcast is Lindsay's idea." and made him sign a napkin. Is it like, I love someone like we talk about this all the time in scripted, where like when you're writing a character, like Mike was the first person to ever give me like a questionnaire of like, here's 100 questions about this character that you're writing about. And it was just like, I'm like, who cares about this? And he's like, it all matters. Everything has to only be like this character. If this character is so special, they would only say this to that question. They would only answer this way. They would only show up in this outfit. They would blah, blah, blah. That's what I love about Lindsay.
Yep.
Is that she shows up every time. Only Lindsay would do this.
Lindsay filled out her own question.
I was just gonna say that.
Exactly. In her Franklin Covey planner.
Yes. And that's what we
And
call a
that's what we
wraparound.
Like, obviously, I also know what wraparounds are because I worked in scripted comedy for so long, but I only remember it coming from Shane.
I
Because Shane
know.
would do that in every show. Like, as soon as they would touch on something else, Shane would go, and that's what we call a wraparound. Okay, anyways. What was I saying? Or was it somebody else saying something and I hijacked it again?
No.
That's probably more like
You said, well, you'll find out in the edit. No, you said that like Carl's like, well, I read it, but I didn't read it. And
I didn't see it on Instagram because like I can't be bothered with all that. But
They
like,
didn't say, they just said I didn't go on Instagram today, but I did have it sent to me.
you ended, and again, we've said this a million times. He did the right thing. Carl, you did the right thing. America thanks you.
yeah,
However, you still did it on national television. So she can bring up whatever she wants. You made it fair game.
yeah.
But
For someone so evolved
But-
and talking all about the depths, and the
That
deeps
too,
and-
yeah. Like that is what I was kind of like, whoa, this is all of a sudden out of character for
Yeah.
Carl. It was super weird. But also, bro, this text had nothing to do with you. Like it was a timeline, a famous Lindsay timeline from the day you broke up with her, which was the last day you had anything to fucking do with this chick. So that's like, whoop, and then the book was what happened after you.
Yeah.
So like this has nothing, when he's like, oh, I just don't know why you would talk about things in such detail, personal to her, not to you, bro. This had nothing to do with you. You were just the catalyst to this story she told everyone. Like,
Yeah.
off, bro.
And I welcome you to use Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
When
well,
she
Carl,
said
you
that,
can
like,
also put
Good
stuff
for
on
you.
Instagram.
You
Wait a
should
minute.
you should do a post.
You know when you live in a neighborhood. Okay, Harris with my analogies?
Yeah.
Harris, this one's for you. You know when you live in a neighborhood and someone puts their house up for sale and you're like, They're crazy. They think they're gonna get 1.7 for that house, and then they get 1.7, and the neighbor who's crazy is like, "You're welcome. I
Yeah.
just upped the resale value on
Yeah.
all of your houses." I feel like Lindsay's sitting here being like, "Ride my algorithm wave, baby. I'm
Yeah.
helping you and your stupid bar that's gonna
Yeah.
fail.
Yeah.
Because I'm just making you relevant because you've done nothing all season
Yeah.
except go on 2 awkward dates, give us a company that is not a company a year later, and have one outburst that is of the likes of Michelle from the Valley." Carl is a horrible fighter. Carl and Michelle are, to me, the exact same person when they get into an argument
Oh, yeah. So
from
the
the
thing that
Valley.
you were saying, yeah. The thing that you were saying though about like how, oh, like this doesn't even make any sense. It's all gobbledygook. What do you
Gobbledygook.
gobbledygook.
Have you never heard that before?
No, I've heard it a million times. For some reason, I can't say it in this moment. I think it's the beer. It was an IPA. They have more alcohol in it. Okay, so even though it was that, I still know what he was trying to say. And I just thought it was also very ironic that I feel like he was just repeating what his therapist is telling him, but maybe doing so in like a hypothetical way. It's not hypothetical, Carl. It's about you. Like, because it's just about like, oh, if you're really talking a lot about something, seems like it's usually a deeper issue. From what I find that when people do this, talk about something incessantly and try to, like, it's usually a lot deeper than it is. Carl talks about everything incessantly. Carl goes overboard about everything. Like, you're talking about Lindsay doing one single Instagram post. And you know what? I'll give you more than that. It could have been 4 Instagram posts, because I think that Lindsay wrote in her Franklin Covey planner every 3 months, she needs to do a quarterly post that reminds people that you're an asshole and that she actually was doing you a solid, even like we talked about this before, where she is the only person that I think has ever really seen him and given him truth after truth. She's the truth teller in his life. So I just think Carl is no further along than he
Was when we started.
exactly.
Carl is stuck in neutral.
When
Yeah.
we started what? The show or
season.
this season?
Oh, since we started talking about Carl, whether we were doing this show or whether we were doing Uncorked or whether, like, anytime we've talked about Carl, it has just been like
Carl's
a real
digressed.
journey.
He's
What?
probably gone backwards.
Yeah.
I think Carl's still going backwards. He's not yet stopped moving backwards to then realize, oh shit, I must move forward now.
Yeah. If we have to hear about all of your little steps and taking it day by day, that's not a knock on AA. I just mean like everything that Carl does seems to be like he's in, always the mode of like, I'm gonna grab that this tomorrow, and then hopefully the next day I'll grab that an inch higher or whatever.
Softbar is the micro of the macro.
Yes.
The way he
The
describes his
name
business
of it is everything. Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, so
Did you
she's-
trying to rile me up at
I
the end of
know,
this
I
episode?
know,
What are you doing, Natalie? I haven't finished this beer. I think though that it is the micro of the macro, because when he's describing his business plan,
Yeah.
everything is, well, we've secured the space. Well, have you? Because there's no listing of the address, which
Yeah.
I get. Maybe you're not doing it before it's totally done. It's been a year.
Yeah.
Or almost a year. You are talking about like how we're still raising money, but then also if it fails, I'm okay with that. No,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be okay with that. This is the point as a small business owner, I'm telling you, Carl, this is the point in time where you are guns blazing, balls to the wall. This is the best idea anyone has ever had in the history of bars, maybe in life. This is going to go to the stratosphere and beyond, locations in every continent. No, Carl's like, and I've already come to terms with it, that if it fails, it's okay. He does this in every area of his life,
Yeah.
that every single part of what he's done with Softbar. And I think he's a good guy. And I think that he, is kind to people and all that stuff that really matters. But if we're just trying to get Carl out of the failure to
Yeah.
launch stage, Lindsay was a true friend to him, because she did say like, I think that's a little dodgy to do F&B. And you know what? She was effing right.
Yeah, she was.
Anyway.
He also says something again. I feel like he doubles down on the like she's embarrassed or she's just feeling bad about herself, or like I feel like there was 2 different times he's talking about Lindsay, or I could be wrong about that.
And everything he said was off.
It totally was, and I feel like he's literally just wanted to say like, "Come on, guys, like, how would you feel like you're pulling up to the driveway right now and you're seeing shaggin' wagon out front, the on the wagon shaggin' wagon, like thinking like that's oh, it's gotta hurt right here when Lindsay's looking at that thing and being like, oh,
Somebody get this van out of my way.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
or like, is that the thing I keep? Did you buy this on my credit?
No, I literally am thinking of her being like, thank God that is not on my credit
Yeah.
history. Like as she's driving up,
Yeah.
because if they got married, obviously,
Yeah,
it would have been your van also, Linz.
yeah.
She is not embarrassed. She doesn't feel bad. By the way, I I was thinking this thing that, when we're sitting around the table and everyone is kind of thinking, oh, Lindsay, I don't know if you should say this. And I'm thinking, Lindsay, say it. Go for it. You were dumped on publicly. You're allowed to say this. You really are. She's earned the right to, in my opinion, to land this
Yeah.
with Carl. And they're all saying like to themselves silently, oh, I think this is a bad idea. I wouldn't say that. Oh God, don't do this. And Lindsay's just like, they don't know. They don't know. That's Lindsay's whole thing.
You were never been more right about any that is the line that like I will take away from this whole thing if we never did another show on this again. I would be like when you said they don't know.
They don't know
about Lindsay, because I would always be like, no, Lindsay's in the comments. She knows everything. Everyone hates her. And Corey's like, they don't know. And I'm like, no, she knows that everyone hates her. It's notorious that she's in the comments of everything. And she's like, no, she thinks they don't know. And I really believe that, because even in this right now, I'm saying that about like when I'm seeing everyone's faces about the freedom dinner, I'm like, they don't know, because Lindsay is on her fight. This is the second to last, well, which is basically the finale episode for them, because this is their final weekend at the house. So like, this is it. You got to leave it all on the field. And she knows, again, this is just like act 3 of her audition tape for like what's next for her. I don't know if she comes back. I hope to God she does come back.
Same,
next
so
year.
do I.
I mean, on that note, in the teaser for next week, Danielle comes to the party and there's a scene. I don't like they could be talking about anything.
Yeah,
but
literally a fart, but like. She's like, I don't think this is the end. And Danielle's like, how could you not think that this is the end of an era or something along those
Danielle's
lines?
a hater.
She specifically is hating Lindsay, but she's like keeping her friends close and her enemies closer.
Yeah, it's her only thing on the show.
Yeah.
She's probably thinking, I could replace Lindsay if Lindsay leaves. Like everything that Danielle is doing was just like when Amanda said the thing about like, I'm starting this business so that Paige doesn't go CEO and founder of what?
Of what?
How did that correlate? I don't know. I don't even know why I said that. I just didn't think that was maybe funny.
Why funny?
It was funny.
There's another scene though that we passed over, and I always just think, and listen, I obviously already know this, but like the way that you say it every episode, it like makes me think about it as I'm watching the show now, which I just sort of kind of forgotten this rule that in a 42-minute show with 200 cast members, every single thing that you see means something. When they're in the bedroom after the this is Paige, Sierra, and Amanda in their bedroom after what they come to find out that what they think is that Lexi is basically saying that Sierra was mean to me and blah, blah, blah. You hear Paige's back is to the camera and she is speaking at a level that like, I don't think Paige thought that the mics were going to pick her up because it was so low. I feel like they have upped their game in camera and audio department and that they haven't told them. Like, I feel like there was maybe 8 seasons where there wasn't audio outside planted in the planters and the grass, because I think that Jesse really thought when he pulls up with Lexi that time and says that thing, definitely doesn't think anyone's listening. The way that Paige was talking, I think she thought nobody was hearing, but that audio fucking caught everything. And she says, just say, oh my God, I had no idea you felt this way. I'm so sorry. And then you see Sierra's face go, I'm not. And Paige goes, I know, but you have to. So it's like, what was that? Like, something has happened. Either something has happened or they were never really helping Lexi. Like when Paige and everybody came to Lexi's defense over the last couple weeks, either that was fake for camera and they don't really give a shit about Lexi and they think she's just whatever she is, the new girl that we don't give a shit about, or something has happened, transpired in the last week for them to go, oh, Lexi is up to no good. I don't know which one it is.
No, if that's the case,
You don't think she was telling Sierra to say that to Lexi?
she does.
She was.
Yeah. And that's Nat's conspiracy or start of her conspiracy theory. If anything, I think Jesse has probably, if this is the case, like we're going off your theory, I think that Jesse has been feeding Sierra toxic information about. That's why all roads lead back to Jesse, and that's why I've just had it with him.
Yeah.
And that's why
Because
Sierra.
he's not even attractive. Just tell me, he's not attractive.
No, but he's tall, and I think a
That's
lot
it.
of people.
That's it,
It's
and
like
that's
Austin.
all.
Austin isn't attractive. He's just tall, and he's
Dude,
single in the South.
I was listening to the Crappens guys, and they go, Jesse on the beach was like, his teeth just stay the way that they are as if he's smiling, but he's not smiling anymore. His teeth are just out, like his whole face is saying, wah, but his teeth are still out like they're smiling. Like, and now I can't stop looking at it. Like, maybe I won't put that in because that is really mean.
I think anything he has told Sierra about Lexi, I think is heavily coded in bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think vice versa. Anything he's told Lexi about Sierra is heavily coded in BS.
Yeah.
And
Why do you think that?
because I don't think Jesse is to be trusted. And I think he
As a
panders to,
joke.
See, I believe, Natalie. This is why I'm a good actor.
I think this show's on Bravo.
But also, you ask gotcha questions all the time, so I don't know when you're joking either.
But also, can I just say, when Lexi was on Nick Vile's show, she did say, allegedly, I guess Sierra had said to Lexi, like, this is my dance space, this is your dance space. Like, don't talk to me, don't talk about me. And so if I know
Sierra said that to Lexi.
Okay. And if I know Sierra, like I think I do, I think that Sierra was probably told something about Lexi that was really hurtful to Sierra. Like, she's talking smack about you, whatever it is. And that's when she's like, all right, then I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's even true that Lexi said anything. And this is all a conspiracy theory. Now I'm meandering over to your land. Because if it came out of Jesse's mouth, how do you know Jesse's lying? His mouth is moving. That's it.
Totally. And I think that what is super sucks about this is that, like, we could all just be saying, like, I can't wait for the reunion. It's all going to come out in the reunion. They're going to be able to confront all these things and be like, what was the real story on this? What was the real story on that? And I think what sucks is that we already know that Sierra and Jesse are still hanging out to this day. So clearly Sierra doesn't get too mad about anything because they're hanging out. And that sucks. Unless they're just MFU. And
who knows?
I think Jesse is full blown for her. I really do. And I think that I'm like, again, going back to the like, oh, until he gets her. I mean, yeah, that's his MO. But then one day it's not. Like one day you meet someone and you're like, yeah, man, whatever you say.
Yeah.
I'm with Mike on that.
And that I think that and like, shocker, right? Like, fuck, yeah, of course she is.
Yeah.
I think that I think he is like bizonkers. Yeah. And now I'm like just sitting here as you guys were talking conspiracy in my own head of like
conspiring.
I wonder conspiring. No, what did
like
Bushy say?
I do like it better actually. Forget that.
About like if Jesse said all these things about Wes, like, oh, he got so famous breaking up with Sierra and Sierra made him who he is, blah, 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 right? All that shit. And he was like, I'm going to tap in. I'm going to try to do that.
I don't think he said, just for clarity's sake, I don't think he said Wes got so famous because he broke up with Sierra. I thought it was like his whole story with her, like really liking her and doing all that.
Whatever.
Just because I think it's important.
They did say on Watch What Happens Live that her story has changed 3 times about that.
I
Like,
don't think it has. I've listened to all of them.
yeah, and even if it has, I feel like Jesse's story probably changed that many times when he told her, so she's probably not even sure which
Yeah.
one it is. It all goes back to Jesse every time, and prove me wrong, Jesse. Like, I'm here all night.
Even on Watch What Happens Live, when they get to the thing about West and Lexi and Jesse, when they're like, oh, okay, but you got to admit, like, you were jealous with the whole West thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, not at all. And even West was like, but you were.
Yeah,
And Andy Cohen was backing West up.
yeah. It was on camera.
He's like,
It
we
just
saw
like,
all of it.
I guess I have to like go back and watch that then.
He's like, because
because
it's not what I meant.
that's not what I remember. I don't remember it to be that way. If you go watch yourself to remember what you did over and over and over again, like, you're such a liar, dude. You're just such a pussy ass liar. I was never on to you, but I'm so over you.
He just has to twist everything so that he is off the hook
Yeah.
for his bad behavior because he wants to be a good guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
Jesse's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not. And so if he twists it and manipulates the story and is a
Yeah.
historical revisionist, then yes, the way you're telling it does make you come off as not crazy or like someone who did a wrong, made the wrong move, did a bad thing in the moment. But here's the thing, Jesse, that's not actually what happened. So
Yeah.
don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, bro. That's I guess your MO. But if we're watching what we're watching and 1 + 1 = 2 every time, you're beat.
Yeah.
That's it. We see it. You're a liar.
That's true.
Mike, you want to read your comments first? You want me to read mine?
I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. Why not? Pat Clark. We love you, Pat. Oh, Mike had what's that brand? Titleist
Mhm.
hat on. And I was like, oh, that hat's for Pat. Pat's hat. I like that it all rhymed. Anyway,
Pat's
it was
Cruise.
it was last episode. Okay. Pat wrote, I've never liked Jesse. I said last year he is the same F-boy person that West is. Jesse gave himself away last year with his advice to West. Both West and Jesse don't understand how any woman could resist their smarmy smiles. My father used to call guys like Jesse and West slick blowhards, and I responded, mine too, Pat. And then when my mom would say it, just always sounded worse because my mom's such she's not a shit talker, but my dad does it really well. But mom would be like, what a blowhard. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
My mom would like spell half of it as opposed, like, not knowing if blow was a bad word or hard was a bad, like, half of that would have been spelled.
Yeah, well, they're good people.
Yeah.
Maximum Dull. Didn't Lexi date Brooklyn Beckham for a year and come into Summer House, with over 1 million followers on Instagram? Pretty sure she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is so far in the rearview mirror, she can't even see it anymore.
There's somebody, though, I think, again, I wish, and I might have saved it, I don't know. But I think there's a TikTok that goes through she's dated a shit ton of really big names. And I think that Drake might even be one of them.
Yeah.
But then she like doesn't talk about Drake. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know I'm not into him. Just like I don't know anything about him. I just
Yeah.
mean like dating wise. Harris be the. Imagine if the loony psychic Allison Dubois from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Malibu dinner party from hell with the vape pen went to the summer house. Your husband will never emotionally fulfill you, except it's West and Jesse, and she's telling them they will end up fat and ugly and single and go bald. I would die happy. Still love West, but need him to get psychically bitch slapped. I thought that was just real funny stuff.
Because Mike just watched that. And I gotta say, I don't know what is gonna Mike is watching Beverly Hills Housewives season by season. He started it from the beginning.
I'm
For
so
you.
proud.
For you guys.
Yeah. So I am really worried though, because the other night he fell asleep and it just rolled into the next season. And I was editing, and then the TV was just on, and then I looked up to see it's like Brandi Glanville's year.
She comes on in season 2.
Mm-hmm. I am terrified for Mike to see Kyle and what's the sister, Kim.
Him.
The way that they act at that girl's house who has the $25,000 sunglasses.
Can
Dana,
you believe it?
Is that Dana
20
Wilkie or that's no, that's someone else.
25,000.
Yeah,
No, it is.
can
It's
you?
Dana.
She says it like 18 times.
I know, it's so gross.
It might be the grossest display I've ever seen from Kyle, and like this is like how Mike always talks about why he doesn't watch The Housewives. It's the definition of
Maybe
why,
skip
and I'm
season
like,
2.
I don't know what
I'm
to
not a
do
big
with
fan
this.
of Kyle anyways, so.
Well, you're really not going to be happy
Yeah, I
to
don't.
see this.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
going to be tough to
shouldn't
come
change
back because
anything.
I literally did forget about that and like was on Kyle's like, I always just thought she's the girl next door. She's friends with everyone. She's the normal one out of everyone. I got
Suckers.
to a place with her much later on and realized exactly who she is. But this is going to be rough to see. I hope that you're able, because I feel like you might quit after this.
I might. I might want to quit now.
Millie Love. Sarah has been used as a scapegoat all summer, and now people are confused why she's acting the way she is. I think she's realizing that people are using her, and that's why she's being standoffish. I just wanted to read that one because I feel like we really cemented like a lot of the Sierra
Yes.
stuff earlier in the episode. And I do think we've nailed it. It's not, we love Sierra. We just don't want her giving her precious princess time to Jesse, who's a
Right.
dum-dum.
Right. And I feel like I have been saying that, but I also have a mean streak in me. So I say things that might like you easily forget what my point because of just the atrocious things that I say sometimes too. But Courtney never really does that. So the fact that she is there, that's where we all are. And the fact that she is still hanging out, the fact that Sierra is still hanging out with West now is the problem that we all have because you had the chance and Lexi could have done it too, where Lexi like didn't do the double down breakup. She just came in like how you said, I would have felt so much better about this had she come in and made like, no, like let's have a girls last weekend and like, let's go to brunch, let's go out to dinner, let's do whatever. And like had that and she didn't, she chose to do the other thing. Fine. But the fact that Sarah let him off the hook so easily and now that we all know she's seen the whole season, had the reunion, and is still hanging out with him, it's clear she has seen it all, doesn't fucking care. Still hanging out with this guy. So when we say Sierra might be the problem, and I don't think you've gotten there yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. She might be the problem because she is not taking the opportunity to tell this guy, fuck off. Like, fuck off. Jesse brings nothing. He brings nothing. He only causes problems. And she's like, and she's seen it all. We know 100% now. She has seen everything. So
I'll be interested to hear what she has to say at the reunion.
it doesn't matter though. That's what I'm saying. It won't matter.
No, I'm just curious if she's going to say, like, just impart any other facts on us. Like, well, Jesse told me Lexi said this, or, Jesse and I had this sidebar conversation that I just don't know. I don't know.
It better be pretty
But
riveting
don't know
because
what. Like
she's
if she
seen
shits
everything.
on anything at all, Jesse wise, during the reunion, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. The reunion was taped weeks ago.
No. I'm not saying her coming down on Jesse for what he said at the reunion. I don't know if she's going to talk about like some off-camera conversation they've had that's really made her be Team Jesse and not Team Lexi, and that's why she likes to hang out with Jesse. And these are all things that I can't see. I'm just curious what her MO is.
Well, the whole season, if one conversation can cure everything that we watched, that's still a problem.
No, and this is why I'm wrapping it up with my final comment from Nettie, who always gets it right. Sierra needs to go to hot girl school. She needs to recognize herself, who she is, how smart she is, and who deserves her time of day.
Yes.
And I think that's all I'd like to say about that.
All fucking season long.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I also, Christy, never thought I would say anything positive about Danielle. Christy Sheeks, never thought I'd say this, but I nominate Danielle for the best line of the season. When she went with Lindsay to the OBGYN while viewing the ultrasound, Danielle said, in effect, once you have your daughter and you decide to get married, you'll have a real flower girl.
Yeah.
Referring to Kyle being the flower girl for Carl and Lindsay's wedding.
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
Yeah. I
So
think
yeah,
Chrissy's been busy. She's just giving us little sprinkle comments these
people
days.
get busy.
I know.
People have lives.
You know who we don't know? What I wonder what happened to is Judy Murray.
Judy.
Yeah, Judy. If you're just you could also. I'm not a commenter in anyone's feed, so that could be a thing. She could still be here and just not feeling chatty, but
We
chat
miss
it
you,
up.
Jude.
Yeah,
Maybe she doesn't watch the show.
or maybe you curse too much for Judy.
Yeah.
You're the cursor.
No.
Absolutely not. Believe me, I know. I say it when it lands a point.
Fuck that.
Oh, Judy.
This is Nettie again. Just on the Jesse and Sierra loving each other so much. Sierra may be so mad because she may like him down low and may have wanted him for 5 minutes, letting him fall all over her inappropriately instead of checking him. She may have been falling for Jesse's foolishness and manipulation. She has a naive girl inside her. But yeah, I like I said, I'm pretty convinced Jesse's like psychotically in love with this girl. And I don't know if I go back and forth or if I've ever landed on, is she in love with him? It's something that's like in my head. But I do wonder if these two are supposed to be together and if she's like, listen, Jesse's, I don't know. It's just, there's something going on there.
I agree with you that he's psychotically in love with her. I do think, though, that once he gets her, I think he's a ticking time bomb. It's only a matter of time before he messes it up in a Herculean fashion.
And she doesn't have she's if a cat has 9 lives, like how many times can you do this? How many times can Sarah let something like this be done to her? Because I'm with you. I just everything that he's said and done, she could be the one that changes everything. That's not usually how. I mean, yeah, obviously everybody has the one that changes everything, but I just don't know. In the time of his life, you have to take into consideration that he is a brand new star. And I think that is going to highly affect his, what his natural course of life had he not now been recognized all over the place. Like that's a big.
Also, usually the one who changes everything is able to change everything because the guy or the girl is in a different place. They're in a different mindset where they're like, oh, I'm tired of screwing around.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jesse's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she could take this one last shot, but it might be one of those things that's like, okay, now we've really broke Sierra. Like if you thought she was broke before, she is full broken now by, it's a shot. It's a risk. Love, all's fair in love and war. It's all a risk, make it all count, blah, blah, blah. I won't blame her for trying. It would be great if she hadn't tried so many other times with the wrong people. So. That's all.
That I don't hate on her for because I feel like it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. I just want her to self-preserve a little bit, after the track record.
Yeah.
This is a comment that I found super interesting because I remember saying last week that I felt like there's something going on with Sierra that she either doesn't feel comfortable talking about on camera or I don't know, like something, it felt to me that she's dealing with something. And this is Miss Taylor or MS Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sierra's mad at herself. She got played again. She kind of keeps letting guys who are not even in her league treat her like crap. Also, I think she really felt uncomfortable being in the house with West. I think she would have liked it if everyone gave him the cold shoulder, how they've been giving it to Craig. She's sticking it out best she can, but her true feelings keep coming out. I don't know if I agree with the whole, I think she wanted everyone to give West the cold shoulder, but her being in the house with West might have been the thing that was bugging her all year that she didn't really
it totally was the thing that was bugging her all summer, I think.
It's one thing to want everyone to give Wes the cold shoulder because you just really want to see him suffer. But I think in her case, it could have just been because it'd be so great if it wasn't I wasn't having to divide time with people. It would just be great if everybody was kind of out on him because it would just be so much more relaxing to not have to be oh, my friends who I just went to go grab a beer, but now Wes is sitting in my seat. Oh God.
It's Ross and Rachel.
Yeah.
When they first broke up, they were like, we're not all hanging out together. We're just not doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that, yeah.
This is also a Miss Taylor one. When Carl said 7-year lease, I was shocked. A monthly pop-up event would have been nice. Mobile bar truck. There are plenty of options. His own product would be cool, but Kyle probably would have his head. I
That's
think,
Craigie.
yeah, totally. And this, if it's true, Harris, could be the saddest news I've heard in my life. Harris Amanda being the only Summer House person at BravoCon. It's not looking good for hashtag summer in the city.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm nervous the announcement that Jesse makes on the reunion is that the show is not coming back.
No, Summer House is definitely coming back.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, I have a spidey sense.
I mean, it's a dollars and cents thing. Like, everybody watches this show. The Valley has some really horrible ratings. I don't understand why. It's literally, it's the greatest show on Bravo right now.
It is.
It has the most potential. Everyone's brand new. Everyone's so raw. You're seeing it all. I don't think anyone's playing around.
I'm not trying to shit on a show that we're hoping to like review for a long, long time. But I think it's fun to hate people up to a point. And I think that the Valley maybe have like this. We're not doing the Valley show, so we don't need to talk about this here. But like, it was something I wanted to talk about the other day, but I'll probably do it next week. Is the Valley might have crossed the line to, man, these are fun people to hate, into like, oh, these are hateable piece of shit people. Why am I like, they've took it too far.
Well, no, I always say you can love to hate someone, but you can't hate to hate them.
I don't think that like.
I don't yet. I mean, I can't stand Jesse, but like,
I
it's
don't
still
hate
good
Beauty
TV.
Queen. I don't hate Danny Bucco. I don't hate Kristen. I don't hate Luke.
I don't hate Zach. I don't
Yeah,
hate
I don't
Mia.
hate Zach. I don't hate.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the people. I'm not talking about the people on the show we don't hate. I'm talking about the people on the show that people do hate.
Jackson,
the hateable
Jesse.
people.
That's
Jesse, Brittany.
I don't hate Brittany.
Janet, Jax.
I don't hate Janet. I think she's annoying. I don't hate her.
Okay.
we can talk about the rest of this on the Valley. It is, yeah, we'll talk about it on the Valley.
Check us out doing recaps on the Valley.
Yeah, it's not as hateable as it sounds. So this is just the comment that I mentioned earlier that Harris said. I keep seeing TikToks about the speculation that Wes and Jesse are not as good of friends as they portray. Again, we're not Southampton flies on the wall, but it would not shock me to know that Wes and Jesse truly are only show friends. I agree that Wes is more calculated and Jesse is a dumbass, but I have this feeling that next or this summer will be very different with the two new boys.
I agree.
Yeah. I hope that they are Wes friends though, but
Wait, are we guaranteed getting two new boys?
I knew that we were getting one, but he's speaking very matter-of-factly.
Okay, well, you know somebody?
Yeah. Also, Harris and I both went to Santa Barbara, and he was like, "Oh my God, I just heard that you went to Santa Barbara. I went there for 3 years for college." He goes, "How lucky are we?" Like, I just hear him saying it, and I'm like, "Yeah, so lucky." To wake up every morning, barf off the side of our balcony into the Pacific Ocean, all the while praying that our cars didn't catch on fire last night next to a couch that someone set on fire. Like, that was every night we went out. Every morning we went out to our cars, because I lived on Del Playa, to see.
Why would someone put a couch on fire?
They would light couches on fire all up and down the street all the time, and then it would catch cars on fire. This was also
that is not shit you do in Jersey.
Yeah. In a way, I probably would have gotten a better car, because I just didn't. That's when I didn't know anything about insurance, but that's because I was on my parents' insurance. Trisha S. Vader says, "Love the show. I got the egg at a heathen school in SoCal. Learned more things than I needed to. I will never forget the first day of class freshman year when I walked in and a big as hell word." Queef was on the chalkboard. I was like, what the hell did you sign up for? Anyway, great show, guys.
That was a Lowell's comment.
Good time public school in Southern California.
Mrs. Sugar Shay says, "This has nothing to do with this week's episode's recap, but I couldn't figure out how to log in back when it was relevant." I feel like we've all been there on YouTube.
Trust.
You guys had mentioned way back what a dork Wes was, and was probably godsmacked at getting Sierra. However, Jesse was the dork growing up. I said that too, but I did think Wes was a super dork. Wes was a popular college football player who was banging girls left and right. Even the biggest dork on the football team has multiple threesomes, according to an interview he gave.
Wes, shut up.
Shut up
It
about
doesn't
what?
shock me though, because he does
I
like.
bet he just has to throw that in there.
Because I really think that Wes has probably gotten
You-
along.
You guys, we went to school at a different time. The kids bang. Like they're not like
I didn't know
West
threesome people
generation.
when I was
Oh,
growing up.
exactly. That's what I mean. Like threesomes,
No, it was a
orgy.
sexual revolution.
Yeah, dude. Like all these kids are partying.
I get that. I just
And football kids athletes have always partied. Like
no,
if
I
you're
just
on,
think it's I don't care who you're stumping, what you're doing. I just don't want to like I just feel like everything Wes says annoys me.
No, I know, but
Sounds
I think that
braggadocious.
You're a
personally think that
never-Wester.
Wes
I
has
am a
gotten
never-Wester.
laid as much as he has for the same reason that I always saw why Sierra got involved with him. He's super funny. He's very endearing. He's like got a great personality, and you don't think that he's going to be a threat. So people might have a threesome with people that would never have a threesome with anyone might have one with Wes because he's so unassuming. He takes you off guard because he seems so harmless.
Yeah.
When like that's how I think that he has gotten with as many chicks as he has.
MVP.
Tanya Bluebell says, I know this is random, but I'm rewatching season 6 and I officially hate Kyle. I know hate is a strong word. As each episode progresses and I watch him lash out at Amanda and his castmates, I dislike him more. You can't reason with him. Amanda consistently responded with sound feedback and he'd just throw a fit, a tantrum, and blame shift. This has been Kyle this entire time. I don't know if like Lindsay got pregnant and got better and then Kyle was like, huh? Like that's an option because Kyle has been so different. But my response to Tanya was like, yeah, he hasn't been on my radar since the Spritz Wars, which makes me know I need to go back and watch the other seasons because Kyle was so horrible for so many seasons and like
just move forward in love.
But I feel like I'm doing that because my memory is so horrible. Like how I said, I can't hold grudges. You can't hold them when you don't remember what they did to you.
This is true.
So anyhow, Tanya, it's never a bad time to hate on Kyle. And I'll try to get my mojo back for hating Kyle. Okay, Meteor Wine says it's hard to not agree that Jesse comes across as being a dumb as a door, but the guy is a VP of investor relations at a legit financial services company. IR is primarily a sales and service job. Before that, he worked at William Morris Endeavor.
He could have been in the mailroom.
Maybe so. Could have been in the
downplay. I'm
mailroom.
just saying, like,
But like, what if he's just like an entertainment kid that like weaseled his way? Like finally, like this was his, that would annoy
that
me even
is
more.
what he 100%.
Ugh.
Just like Wes probably was following these people or tracking them and saw Lindsay going to some bar and was like, oh, this is my aunt on Summer House.
Yeah, no, totally.
100.
There must be a few IQs banging around up there, or he has created a very convincing character. Southern businessmen are notorious for playing that good old boy character and making you think they are dumb while they fleece your deal terms. But Jesse is New York. He could have created that puppy dog thing for chasing the girls. I feel like anything that has come good on Jesse stumbled like and farted himself into it. Like it's hard to like think that he's ever had like a mastermind plan, but like you have a point there. Like you don't, those are.
No, I think he probably has planned some things in his day.
Yeah, but he's still a stupid dumb idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this from Joe Schmo. I think Lexi just wants to take a few more bites of the pie before she throws the whole fucking thing out.
Oh yeah, and then I said she needs to like squirt some soap on top of that to make sure she never goes back into the trash to pick a little piece.
Yeah. What did to do? I'll bleep need to.
There used to be a talent on the show that I used to work on, not the show I work on now, she didn't want to eat the bean sauce.
Ranch?
Yeah, the ranch dressing that came in the like veggie tray. So she would put her cigarettes out in it. And
Dude.
Like stop her from eating the ranch.
That's true?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
I'm going to bleep the name, but I seriously feel like
when
out
you
of
said-
anybody you could ever go, who was that?
So you'd have to know every show that I worked on.
Well, sure. But also, she's the first person I would think of.
Wait,
But yeah, she would definitely.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
That's
bet,
not
like-
even the craziest story I have.
No,
believe
I
it.
know. But that, like I said, it truly is like the one time a bleep probably won't matter because I would have guessed that about
Even not knowing what shows you've worked on.
Right.
Harris says, oh no, there aren't enough bunks at Lexi's boyfriend boot camp. Looks like me and Carl and Wes will have to share a bunk. Whatever will I do? You'll have to grow some self-respect. Gross. Barf sandwich, Harris.
Ooh, that's funny.
Oh, Shannon Fall says, I think Jesse is harboring some serious internal jealousy in regards to West.
Yep.
Agreed. Carrie G says, what the beep is Lexi doing with her lip liner? Girl, I noticed her mom and sister do the exact same thing. It's weird. They fill their lips with too much filler, all three of them, and then they do an aggressive lip liner. To each their own. I find it bizarre, but what do I know? I'm just a geek sitting in the corner listening to long podcasts. Okay, I have been thinking about that too, because I've been thinking so much about Lexi, how she got here, what her agenda is, who she's working with, all the things. There is something about this lip liner that, okay, everyone knows that like drawing your lip liner outside of your lips is like something that has just sort of been made fun of or like poked fun of or, you know, for forever since we were kids buying our first Wet n Wild 666 lip liner at CVS. There's also Kim Kardashian, who put out a bra that has nipples in it. What have we been trying to do our entire existence? Wear things that don't show our nipples. Like that has been something that we've been trained from being very little. But there's something that people do. There's also some workout pants that are very like, just show every crevice of every, like it's very purposefully because we've been making workout pants and yoga pants for decades and decades that go around and not show any of that. There are these choices that I think that people make that are taboo and that are kind of like, I think that there are these choices that people make to be, as Kim Kardashian says, because it's iconic and I love doing iconic shit. She says this, it has just made me think that Lexi and every single thing that she has done has figured out a way to like, that's my thing. This is what I do. I know about this, so I'm going to play this on these episodes. I'm going to do this lip liner because some people will be me for Halloween. People will be me for costume parties, whatever. Like it makes you a little bit more famous. And I just have to say that this is where my mind is going with Lexi's entire trajectory. Just something, food for thought. But yeah, we've been making fun of her lips all season.
Not her lips, her lip liner.
Lip liner, yeah.
Which I think is different. You could wipe off your lip liner, can't wipe off your lips.
Right. But like, you know, I don't even know why. Like, just forget that I said lips right now. Lip liner is what I've meant this whole time.
Yeah.
It seems very easy that somebody, I'm sure, has said, you're like, you know, you're drawing, like she's fully aware that her lip liner is doing this. And I just think
their style, the mom, the sister, birds of a feather flock together. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Even when the sister showed up to the swimsuit party, she's dressing just like Lexi. Like I get it. I get how when you're hanging out with a group of people, all of a sudden someone's like, oh, those are cute earrings. And then you get earrings that are similar and this is how trends happen and whatever. But like, it's a hodgepodge of bad trends that they're following. And there's nothing classic about any of the looks that really are cracking.
No. I've always thought, I've been thinking this whole thing, they just seem very European. I think that they're Russian spies, like the Americans. SH says, I'm sorry, but when Jesse asked Paige and Amanda if Sierra thought that they would hook up that weekend and they smugly replied no, that felt like total BS. If Sierra was supposedly so clear that she would never hook up with Jesse, then how could Amanda have believed it was likely? How could Paige have picked up on any sexual attention? It takes two after all. And how could Craig have been convinced they'd end up dating? I was going to say doing it, but that wouldn't be Craigie. Are we really supposed to believe all of that was just based on Jesse's behavior? No way. I get that Paige and Amanda were trying to save face for Sierra, but they wouldn't have walked away with those assumptions if she hadn't given them some reason to think it was a real possibility. Agreed, 1,000%. And come for me, I agree. Maya Mona says, I really enjoy your guys' podcast review show. I think Sierra handled herself great this week. Sierra's tried to be chill, but these men keep playing in her face. I would be upset if she didn't call them out, because then they would keep doing it. Sierra's reaction is only in response to Jesse's actions. She was fed up, and I feel disappointed in her friend, aka Jesse, for putting her in this weird ass situation. Truly, I don't think Sierra has an issue with Lexi. I believe it's the other way around. I only say that based on the way Lexi keeps fanning the flame and painting this narrative against Sierra in her interviews. It seems like Sierra's behavior and emotions have been overly criticized by some since she came on this show. And as a Black woman, I feel very protective over her, especially with some of the trigger words that are used towards her, like angry or saying she's mad when she stands up for herself. She may be upset, but it's not for no reason. The jealous thing I feel is a stretch. Not everyone has to be BFFs. Doesn't mean she's insecure or jealous. If there was any tension between them, it was purely Jesse being manipulative, not because Sierra is worried about another model. That narrative just takes the heat off Jesse and puts it on Sierra, which is not fair. Also, I really loved Kyle standing up for Sierra at the dinner. Oh, and Emerald was at the dinner with Sierra, Amanda West, etc. I saw it from someone that he was at the restaurant. Okay. I think I use the words that she's jealous of the other model in the house. Anytime that you kind of like start noticing like, oh, there are new people coming in, there are new generations under me, there are new fresh faces that know about these things that I don't know, whatever. I just think that anybody working in entertainment who like, when we saw Jesse and West on Watch What Happens Live the other night, they didn't know if they were coming back for next season. Like no one has told them. And like actors across the board, like never know if they're getting asked back on shows. It's like, it just depends on the network. They can wait till the very last second to be like, okay, we're signing your contract right now. Like people are literally waiting sometimes the night before the next season's first shoot day. So that happens. I think that you know that, right?
But yeah,
Yeah.
that happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This happens all the time. It's like scripted shows are harder to do that because like your character, if the mom's not coming back, did she die? Like, you know, who knows?
I know someone who was producing a show.
Yeah.
They were literally running cables for like, sound, lighting, all the things. And it got pulled while they were setting up the first episode.
Yeah. That happens on pilots all the time where it's
Yeah.
just like things are not going well. The table read did not go well.
Yeah.
We're going to pull it. So all those things. So when I say that she's jealous of the new model, that was a really shitty way to word it. What I mean to say is that when people start coming in, you start realizing, even though Sierra's not that much older and whatever.
2 years.
Yeah, only 2 years, but it feels very different. And Lexi's always looked to me like a little baby dumpling face 16-year-old. And then she's coming right in, and West and Jesse are kind of, they're meeting them at the door. There's the two new girls at the time because Bailey was there too. So I just meant to say that like there could be some weirdness because the newbie girl has come in and has stolen the heart of the fucking tall dude in minutes. And so there's just like, you don't know what your fate is. Like, are these girls taking over? Am I gonna, like, I don't know. Is Lindsay coming back? Is Paige even coming back? Like, all those questions are going through your head. So I don't mean to say it's like this one thing, Sarah's jealous of the new model. It's just everybody is aware that they are disposable, that new people are coming in all the time, that you're replaceable in a second. You could be literally on the show and they just scrub you out and you don't find out until it's airing. So
I.e. Emerald.
Emerald does, yeah.
Oh my God, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Emerald too,
Emerald.
but yeah, I feel like Bailey, if Emerald got scrubbed out so easily and he's back this episode, it really makes me wonder, like, how long was Bailey there that like we just don't have no idea? Like, she
Yeah.
could have been in half the season and they just cut her out. Who knows? Anyways. Okay, Only Gets Better says, hey guys, I just want to say thank you. Your channel is funny and introspective. I love that you all try to see multiple perspectives and your vibe feels like family. You're the first channel I subscribed to and commented on. That's pretty nice.
Really
That's
sweet.
huge.
She said, I feel for Sierra. She chooses these boys who don't treat her heart with care. With West, I feel for her. She mentioned he was there for her through a difficult time with her family, and she was there during his loss. She probably felt rejected and dismissed by his comments while also humiliated publicly. Again, now you have Jesse using her as a fall guy for his manipulative games. Also, I do think that she might feel fetishized. She mentioned not dating white guys. I think that comment speaks volumes. She might feel like these guys think she's a good time, not a long time. I think
Oh my God,
like,
I would be heartbroken if she thought that.
I'm sure like
I mean, obviously,
I think she's probably thinks a million things. She probably has
yeah.
no idea why things keep turning out the way
Yeah,
that they turn out.
when you've had like a
Yeah.
series of,
Yeah.
just near hits and like miss
Yeah.
after miss with relationship wise.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's had so many hits in her life. You obviously just think about every possible scenario.
Yeah.
And that would be heartbreaking if she thought that.
I know. But we went back and forth a few times. I love Only Gets Better. I hope that she sticks around and says more stuff.
Good name.
Truth for Peace for Freedom says, I'm so surprised that the world's population is as high as it is because getting pregnant is quite possibly the scariest thing a woman can do. I don't blame Amanda one bit for having reservations. It's not just the weight gain and your body never being the same again. It's your hormones turning you into a completely different person, and the level of exhaustion is on a different level. And who knows what could possibly happen to your mental health. Will a dormant mental illness be awakened? It's Russian roulette. P.S. I was cracking up at you guys joking around about walking into soft penis, soft bar, and the song Asexual Healing is playing on loop on the radio. Carl's behind the bar giving out his 500th hug of the day.
That made me lol.
I know. Harris says, I was so worried where this Pastor Dave story was going. Thank God your Skittles weren't biblically diddled.
No, unfortunately not. I'm kidding.
Okay, that's it.
Well, we'll see you next time.
See you another time.
Next time.
I know. I just think it's funnier when you say see you another time. I'll see you on another day. See, she laughed. It's funny.
She's tired.
No, it's funny.
I'm starving.
Toodles, what are you going to eat?
The Belle of Mexico.
No, I'm on a good streak.
Oh, good.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
See you later, alligator. Eat a wild crocodile.
Never thought sitting for 3.5 hours.
Oh, womp womp.